This motherfucker gets a standing ovation and runs home in his fucking panties. I'm like, I did run home in my panties.
All right, so should we introduce this
Amazing guest.
amazing guest? When people throw around the word the one and only, I feel like they use it too loosely, right? There's some people where it's like, this is the fucking one and only, right?
I
Like,
agree with that.
I would say like Michael Jackson. Like, you know, Brad Pitt, there's a ton of good-looking actors, all those guys, but there's only one of this guy.
Not very many good-looking comics.
That's true, too. I feel like he needs no introduction, though. Why don't you
Correct.
let everybody know who's here?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Carrot Top.
Well, how
Oh
sweet
my
of you.
God.
Yes, this is
Carrot
fun.
Top.
This
Carrot
is so
Top, yeah.
fun.
Thank you. Yeah, we've known each other for years. It's just been
Years.
a long time since we've seen each other.
Okay,
yeah.
so we were actually discussing this last night that the first time I met you, I was actually pregnant with Roman. Do you
Oh
remember?
my goodness, I do remember this.
And I came in a tie-dye shirt, and then that night you wore a tie-dye shirt for
Yes.
the show.
Yeah, I do remember that.
Yep.
How old is Roman
He's
now?
15 now.
Oh my God! So that's a long time ago. My
Yeah.
goodness,
We've
man.
known each other a very long
Man.
time.
It
Crazy.
goes by very fast.
Yes.
That is for sure. That is true.
Yeah. And wait, so were you on a episode of Holly's World? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read that somewhere.
Yeah.
The housewarming party. You gave her that big
Yeah.
photo of yourself,
Yeah.
the painting of yourself. Do you still have that?
Yeah.
Is
it
it
was a
hanging in the
joke because
house?
when people, it's like an awkward. That's what I thought it'd be funny. Like, oh no, what is that? It's like it's a big picture of me. Like, oh, that's sweet. Thank you. Like, give me a fucking picture of yourself. So that's usually an odd gift when someone gives you, a picture of themselves. You
So
know, that
good.
picture of her would be different, but but so it was a gag, and of course I still have it somewhere buried in my warehouse.
I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. I feel like I kind of want it. Low
Well,
key.
someone just painted it. I thought when that thing came up, I had just thought offhand that would be a funny thing to do
Yeah,
on the show.
it was
It's all
amazing.
wrapped. And what did you get me? And she's like, oh, great.
I feel like it's got to be a little stressful for you to bring a housewarming gift because you're a Carrot Top, and it's like, what's Carrot Top gonna
Something
bring
with
to the
carrots,
house?
probably. That's all people give me. Everyone brings me, look, it's carrot cake. I'm like, oh my God, never had carrot cake. That's great.
Oh my God, original.
We really had to literally take it off our rider. They have a rider in the show when we do road shows because every venue we went to, they would have a carrot cake.
Shut
Amazing.
up.
Yeah,
On their
and we'd
own.
All, on their own. So we finally said, "Hey, we need this. We need a bottle of Crown. We need whatever, and no carrot cake." And they were like, "Oh, is it an allergy thing?" I'm like, "No, it's a no. We don't want a fucking carrot cake. We
fucking
have
annoying.
It's an
every day."
offensive
It's an
thing.
annoying thing. It's not even offensive. It's an annoying thing.
That is hilarious.
But like, do you enjoy carrot cake?
I do. Yeah,
Shit. You're like, "God damn it, but I like
do,
it."
Yeah, I do, but I do like it. Yeah, at portions at times, not every
Yeah.
night.
that is hilarious.
But they do that at my at dinners I go to. I just went to another night with a friend, and we had a steakhouse, and of course they bring his steak and they bring mine, and it has a carrot on it, and that's just
Stop.
like, and it was funny, but it's just my I'm like, okay. I mean, I could have been anything other. I mean, I did pick the name Carrot Top, so I kind of made the bed.
It's your fault for sure. Well, that's a good
There's
question.
many moments I could not have been. I was like, should I be Carrot Top or I should it be? It could have been Queen Latifah. It hadn't been taken at the time.
At the time. So wait, when did you become Carrot Top? That's a good first start.
1985.
1985.
Yeah.
And it was you that was like, I'm going with this name?
Yeah, and the joke, I swear, not a joke. The story is, I was in my dorm room and I was working on something for a school project. It was all logos. So I was doing something for a class, and then somehow I was doodling a carrot, and I was kind of thinking Carrot Top, and I had a carrot holding a microphone and a top hat, and I just drew it, and my roommates came in and said, "What is that?" I said, "It's my logo for a class." I said, "No, it's my logo for my comedy," and they said, "You do comedy?" And I said, "No, but I have a logo." And so I had a logo before I had an act. And
This
so
is
It's
amazing.
really true. I was already thinking that kind of big,
Amazing.
like Rolling Stone's tongue, Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
So I said, I need a name and a strong like a brand. And again, it was a blessing and a curse because I'm Carrot Top now. But I just drew it, and then I went to do. I don't think I'd done comedy yet, and I went to open mic at the school, and the guy said, "What do you want me to bring you up as?" And I said, Carrot Top. And he said, Carrot Top? And I said, yeah, okay. And back then it was weirder than now. I mean, there's some people that have strange, for him it was Carrot Top. He's like, oh, I get it, it goes Carrot Top. So, but I took a big orange wig and I put the wig on and I came on, my hair is this big but I have the wig on, and I come up and they go, "Please welcome Carrot Top," and I hit the stage and I said, "Hi." I said, "It's funny, I know, right? Carrot Top," and everybody's like laughing, and I pulled it off, and my hair was just as bad as the wig I was wearing. So I said, "Now it's not funny." That's why I go by Carrot Top. So that's my first kind of.
That's amazing.
Thing I
I
ever
love
did.
this story. Do you still have that sketch, the original sketch?
Oh God, I don't know.
How did that show go?
No, it did okay because I didn't do my jokes. I didn't have jokes. I did, George Carlin and Robin Williams jokes, and
no props then.
no props. I just did a story, like a joke. I think the only prop was my wig, and I had a sensor, one of those. You go to the mall, they would clip those sensors on. So I'd say I just came from the mall and like shopping, and I stole it.
That's funny.
And then I'd make a joke. I said, what's fun is have this on your shirt and go into a store bringing stolen stuff in, and the alarms go off. You can't bring stolen stuff in. I mean, you can bring it out. But, so it was a whole bit about. And then I started stealing things. That was kind of the idea of where I was going with the thing. So I stole a bank tube. And the bank pen with the attached to the thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just people like, what are you doing? And a crime watch sign, and that was my first like prop and success with like I auditioned for this woman at a comedy club, and I'd done just stupid things. I still don't have an act, but I mean I was just being stupid. And I walked down. And I said, "I'm sorry I'm late. I was in the neighborhood," and I held up the crime watch sign. She goes, "Oh my God, that's funny." And I said, "How good is our crime watch if they're not even watching the signs?"
Yeah.
And I got it. She said, "That's so clever and so funny." I said, "That's kind of where I'm going with like observational things." I said, and then I was out, so I got a bank tube, and she goes, "Oh my God, that's hilarious. Where'd you get the bank tube?" I said, I drove off with it. It's not easy. It's not hard to do. You just, you take a withdrawal and you take a withdrawal. And she's like, "You really stole that?" I said, "Then I got the bank pen." She goes, "Where'd you get the bank pen?" I said, "I just, I made it. I made a pen. I put a rope on it." But it was like kind of a theme to what I was doing. So little thief guy. So I put together all these road signs. Because that's what she said. She said, "I like you, and you're funny, but I love the visual stuff. Do you have any more of it?" And I said, "I don't. I can go steal more signs." And she said, don't go steal things, but if you could come up with." I said, "Well, I got an idea." So I went around
Don't go
town.
steal things.
I went around town and I stole all these signs. Like it was a slow children at play. It was a yellow, it had a stick figure that said slow children. But if you look at the signs, they don't have feet. So I said, "No wonder they're slow. They don't have feet." And it was just, it was clever. It was clever and funny, and everybody's like, it's like show and tell, with liquor. So it would kill. And so she's like, "All right, you have to stay on that path." So I came together with like 20 different signs, and they were like a slideshow kind of thing. Slow children play. But here's one that says, "No train horn at the train track, but the hours there weren't the horn. It was the hours you needed the horn. You couldn't see it." So it was like clever, and I was like George Carlin. Because it was like smart. It was smart,
Yeah.
but also mixed in with a little, like he would even say, it was smart mixed in with stupidity. Like he'd talk about a topic, and then he would be really brilliant on something.
And simplicity too. Like
Gallagher, he had his stand up was so genius, and then his props were silly. So I always wanted to have be clever and not really be like a pun. So I never have done a pun, like a shoehorn and a play on words. So I always tried to. And that's when South Park did the thing on me. I was so mad because they called me and they said, "Hey, we want you to be on our Family Guy or something." I can't remember now.
I was saying, have I never seen that episode of South Park?
Maybe it's South Park or Family. I don't know which one it was. So they, I should know this. They called and they said, "You want to be on it?" And I was like, "Well, who says no to that?" So you want to do your voice or have someone else do your voice? I'm like, "Well, no, I want to. If I'm doing it, why would I not do?" So they sent me the script, and I get the script, and it's just horrible. And this is coming from the guy that's genius. He's Seth MacFarlane.
Oh yeah. Family.
So I'm like, man, and it's just because the script is brilliant. It's my part, and I'm like, man, it's like. This is what everyone makes fun of me for looking and being like, is how they portrayed me. So I got him on the phone. I said, can I do a different prop? Can I do a different joke? Because I think this is exactly what I have tried to avoid as a pun. And he said, "No, it's really fun." I said, "No, it's not, but it's not me. It's like I'm not going to say it's a seesaw and it's a saw with glasses on it." He's like, oh, no, it's great, though. And I'm like, no, but it's fucking really not funny. He said, but it's funny in the sense of, I said, it's in the funny sense of making fun of me because
Right.
people are going to think that's how I write my jokes. Hey, I'm a canologue, and there's a canologue. I'm like, that's just not what I do. So he said, well, the bad thing is we've already made the animation, so we probably have to stick to it. So I was like, all right. He said, Scott, and I promise you, everyone thinks it's hilarious. And I said, well, of course they do, because, ripping on camera. So anyway, we do it, and finally they said, we have to redo it and do it right again in the studio. So I go to the studio just like this. He's sitting right across from me, and he's, beyond brilliant, and he's doing all the voices, and you're just like, holy shit, this is the guy. And then he's like, are you sure that, because I don't want you to feel uncomfortable. I said, no. He said, everyone loves it. So I do the thing. Oh my God, it's a seesaw. And he's like, fucking seesaw. And I'm like, yeah, where'd you find my seat? And it's just, I get done with it. I'm like, I really hate that I did it, but I'm glad that I'm in it. And to this day, people walk up to me and say, fucking seesaw. So he was right. He was right. I mean, it still didn't shine me in the right light that I wanted me to be as a prop comic kind of thing.
Right.
That is hilarious.
It's funny though, like you saying like catalog or saying like these, you have a way of saying it that is just funny. It doesn't matter like whether the joke is done. Like
Right.
you have a delivery and a way about it that is just so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Have you seen a show?
No, never live.
No, wait a minute. You can't say that if you haven't seen the show.
No. I've never seen you live. I remember as a kid, I was thinking about this today. One of my first memories of you was like, I don't know if it was Comedy Central or so. You must have been on some show, but I played baseball as a kid, and at that time, I remember you did that bit about the batter with the mirror so he could see the catcher calling the. Do you remember that?
Right, yeah. I
And
did a lot. Yeah.
That stuck with me because I was like, oh my gosh, that's so
That's
funny.
an
and so
old
cool.
one.
It's
yeah.
an old one.
I had one with I had a whole bunch of sports ones. There's a baseball one that had. This is one of my very first props. I mean, like talking 1985. I got a baseball jersey and I twist tied or however I attached it to a baseball jersey. Those little seat roller. You sit in a seat. They're wood things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They roll, right?
Yeah.
When you sit. So I glued on so when baseball players slid in, they'd slot, and it was like
That's so
people,
clever.
it would, but like that's really brilliant, like funny. Like it was. I always wanted to be funny, but also clever.
Yeah.
So they say, oh, it's like an invention. That's
Yeah.
I called them my little inventions.
Totally. Which leads me to a question I was thinking also earlier. I was like, have you ever been like seen something in like an actual invention and been like, hey, they
yes.
stole that from me?
Absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Like
Tons.
Like what?
I got a handful. One, and we were going to go on Shark Tank and actually do this because but serious about it, but also be funny. But I pitched it to them, and they're like, well, I don't get. So I was going to do a thing about I need your help because they're stealing all my things, and I was going to perform them in front of the Shark Tank guys, and then say now they've stolen this, and they're like at the end they're like, what do you need us? I'm like, I need lawyers. I need you guys. I'm an idiot. I'm just a comic. I just build this shit. So one in particular was one was baseball. And again, I made this. This is probably I lived in Charlotte back in 80-something, so it was in my garage. I took a wooden baseball bat, and I put a piece of wood just about the size of that can, flat piece of wood, and I put a screw and a rope. So when you would swing it, it would make a crack like you hit it like you got a hit.
Yeah.
And there was a baseball strike, and it was horrible, and everyone was talking about the baseball strike, and no one was getting hits. And I said, I made a bat, so at least it sounds like they get a hit. And I mean, I did that on every show, Tonight Show, every show. It was a big, huge, there's been a few of my career that they went viral back then.
How cool.
And then Whammo has a bat now where you swing it and it makes a
Stop.
crack noise. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
The toilet paper roll was one of the biggest ones because I was, I think, on the road in a venue, and there was a toilet paper thing, but there wasn't a thing to roll, so we were just sitting there. And I remember exactly where I picked the toilet paper up thing, and I went to take it off, and you have to put your fingers in to pull it. And I said, "This is funny. Some people want it over the over, and some people like it under."
Yeah.
Wait, which way do you like?
Oh, I like it over because I can't
Over.
find it. You can't find it when it's
100%.
under, right?
It has to go over.
So I just made this thing within 1 second. I took the paper towel roll. I literally went to like a venue and I said, "Do you have a stick?" And the thing, and they got a stick, and I literally took a piece of cardboard and I put the toilet paper roll dispenser on it, And I just said, how do you like toilet paper over the roll? And they go, yeah. I said, how do you like it under? And half the crowd and half the crowd. It's 50-50. Perfect. This is why I made the toilet paper flipper. And you take the paper and you roll it. And then when you want it over, if you want it under, you just flip that and it's on a screw. It
Oh
flips.
my God, amazing.
Oh no, it's ingenious, right? So I do it on every show, like Regis and Tonight Show, and the Jerry Lewis Telleth, every show,
Amazing.
and specials and comedy specials. And next thing I know, the Home Depot has and it's even called like this guy even says it. That's why I made the toilet paper flipper. I'm like, you motherfucker!
my
I mean,
God.
not only did he take the prop, he even called it the same thing. So there's been a whole bunch of them. Yeah.
Has there ever been like close to like actual lawsuits? Because you're like, wait a minute, that's making a lot of money. And that was
Well,
my idea.
I know. I never got to the point where I was with Whammo. I should have said, that was kind of a blatant rip off. I probably should have because I already probably gotten something for just shush money. But
Yeah, well, especially
stop it.
Whammo because
that'd just be funny. Carrot Top suing Whammo. But yeah, no, I've never done that. But I was looking back on it, I had a chance to.
so
That's
you.
amazing.
It sounds like even like when you were younger, you just always saw things and saw like funny in them, right?
Yeah.
Like that was your kind of gift.
Yeah, kind of observe from a distance and just watch. I was a very shy kid. I never really was like.
Really?
Yeah, people see the show and like, man, you're so manic and loud, but not people that my friends like. No, I'm just mellow. You know, Howie Mandel had a great bit, and being a comedian, he says, he's crazy on stage. And one time he's in an elevator, he's all by himself, and the doors open, and this woman came on. She says, "Oh, are you Howie Mandel?" And he says, "Yeah." She says, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Well, why am I not okay?" She goes, "Well, you're just staring at the thing." He's like, "Would it be even weirder if the doors open?" I was like, I mean, he's just on an elevator. So what is she? People think
Yeah,
how
like, what
much
am I
is supposed to
supposed to
always
do?
be on,
Yeah.
do something. I go to restaurants and people always say, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." You need someone to sit with you? I'm like, "No, I'm absolutely completely fine."
Do you want to hold my hand?
I don't
like,
get that.
What?
You're just not allowed to be.
Do you get? I'm sure you must get a lot of.
But I'm
people.
not like one of those stupid things when people ask you, "Are you like a sad clown?" I'm like, that kind of crap. No. Well, after Robin Williams' death, everyone came out calling. Because they wanted to get inside the minds of comedians, and they thought, hey, so I got a call from these people, and they were saying like, we want to interview about Robin and about comics and about year one, and are you all depressed? Are you guys all in this state of depression? I'm like, no. I first of all, Robin Williams had an illness. He was there was a lot of other things that he was battling.
Yeah.
Most comics have a side to them. I'm not sure they're depressed side, but they're probably always thinking. That's what I was thinking. I'm always thinking. So people are like, you seem like you're agitated. I'm like, no, I'm thinking of something. I'm just what I mean. And then when the show's over, I'm better. But like I draw like the whole day. I'm just kind of thinking about
Sure.
thinking about what I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah.
Kind of, even though I know what I'm going to do tonight.
Yeah. Is your material evolving always, or do you bring back stuff?
I still do Nixon material.
Oh wow, yeah.
No, it's always evolving. Yeah, I mean, every day I kind of pride myself on putting one new thing in a day.
A day.
Yeah, well, sometimes it's 10 things.
Wow.
It just depends on if I have a day, but usually it's one. Even if it's a sound cue or if it's a one line, I'll try it. I have. My crew would back me up. They're like, "Oh God, we get there." I'm like, "We got 10 minutes to get this in the show," and they're like, "Tonight?" I'm like, "Yeah," because the shelf life on it is short, and it's also I want to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're too ahead of the game. I'm so quick on it that people have no idea. That people don't know there's astronauts stuck in space yet.
Right.
They might know in a couple days, but so.
So a lot
Yeah,
of it
like,
you try to stay up to like
Yeah,
pop
the
culture.
current stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever's happening in sports or the thing, like the thing in football starting up again. We did a whole bunch about the Olympics. Now that's out, so you're kind of always shuffling in and out topical things. I like it, and it shows people that you're working. 'Cause
Yeah.
you go to a show and it's like I said, you're doing Nixon and Reagan jokes. You're like, dude. But the Trump thing, you got it. Then that one just is timeless. I mean, every night it's become the bit that I just keep ad-libbing longer and longer. It's just
So easy to do.
It just it's just I do the same at the La Quinta. They put me in a hotel called the La Quinta. Now, there used to be a dumb joke. I'd say the La Quinta is Spanish for behind Denny's. And there's a image that comes up, and there's a Denny's and there's a La Quinta, which is there always is. Every La Quinta has a Denny's. So I said Spanish for behind Denny's. Everybody laughs, and then I go, "There's a burger under your bed," and I just like ad-libbed it the other night. Just doing Trump. There's a burger on your bed. You know, I made burgers. There were never burgers. There were hot dogs, but I made burgers. I'm the only administration to make burgers. And everybody would start laughing, and then I kept going.
good.
So now last night I was like, bottled water. People drink out of hoses. I made bottled water. I'm the only president. Obama didn't have water. Carter had nothing. And they just, and now my crew's like, oh, and then last night I added another one. My friends hate it. I'll do it all day long. They're like, please stop. I made stop. There was go, but I made stop, and it's an endless bit. It's horrible, and then you just fun, and it just to find that word, There's a joke something about in the show about redheads, and I said there's a scientific study about redheads. It's horrible, and just doing that just during the bit, it just punches it.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so dumb, but they just you just throw that in horrible. No.
That's funny. Well, I feel like he's on every late night show these days because he is such good material.
Yeah.
Whether you
I
like
say
it or
that
not.
in my show. I said, I don't care if you like him or not. I said, I'm a comic. Trump makes me every day. He
Yes.
gives me something. I'm like, that's
Yes.
going in the show, bitch. That is going in the show.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Well, we
Yeah.
have to go see his show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going.
So wait, is next year 20 years at the Luxor?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, I think you said depressive. That's depressing.
No, that's
it's,
impressive.
It's unbelievable. I don't even think about it until like someone says that, and then I'm like, oh, geez. Like I get that kind of in my head when I like watching a football game the other day, and they said this particular coach has been, coaching in the NFL for 15 years, and everybody's like, oh my God, that's the longest coaching thing. I'm like, I've been doing this for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm like, 15 years is not a long time. I mean, right?
Yeah,
I've
I
only
think
done. I'll be 20.
20 years at the Luxor. At the same theater, or has it moved?
Same theater, yeah.
Wow.
We had Bally's for 1 year. We did MGM 10 years, and we did Luxor coming up on 19 this November, and then 20 next. Yeah.
What
That's
was your
awesome.
first gig in Vegas?
Bally's, yeah.
Bally's.
I had done. It's kind of an interesting story. I had done Regis and Kathy Lee, so it's an old show.
I love that show.
I did too. I love doing it, and I used to watch it, and then I get to be on it. It's kind of surreal. And I go on, and I always do well on that show. I would even specifically, I'd call Regis joke. I'd write for Regis.
Regis
because,
must have loved you.
Oh, he did. He was
Yeah.
such a fan. Like
Yeah.
he just, how does he come up with this?
Yeah.
He writes it all. He builds all this stuff. So I would always get him, man, everything. And so I'm on there, and I do really well. And I come off, and this old guy standing there. He says, "That was incredible. Where do you find that stuff?" And I said, "I know. I make it." And he's like, "You make all?" I said, "Yeah, I create it and I make it." He goes, "Oh, you don't buy?" I said, "No. That'd be weird if I bought it all, right?" I said, "No." And then he was more impressed. He's like, "Oh, you create these things?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he looks at him like, "Oh my, so you actually thought of that and made that? That's amazing. You must kill in Vegas." And I said, "I've never been to Vegas." And he said, "Nice, you are Vegas." And I said, "I've never played Vegas." And he said, "If I get you a gig there, would you work Vegas for a night?" I said, "Well, horror, of course I will." I said, "Of course." And I give him his number. They call my people, my person, and they. It turns out it was Kathy Lee Gifford's manager,
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
and he called Bally's. And at the time, there was the two big showrooms in the front, and then there was a comedy club in the back. So they put me in the comedy club, and I did great. And the guy was like, "We're going to move you to the main room on Friday and Saturday." And I was like, "Okay." And I went and looked at it. I'm like, "What the?" So there was like, it was just such a big room, and I had at the time, two little prop trunks, and I felt naked. I was like, even though if you think about it now, like with comics, they stand there, and I never had that experience. So I went to Walmart, and I bought all these like carpets, and like tables and tapestries, and lamps, and what do you call those things? Lava lamps, and I built like a little set,
Wow.
and a couch, a sofa, and then my two trunks. And it just felt like, it's my home. So it's like my apartment, like my dorm. So I kind of started, making it almost a show already. So my dorm was where I came up with comedy. And it helped. But people were like, "That's kind of cool, man. You made your own little, like little sitcom set." And I said, I did it because I was scared to death. And it did okay. And then I remember thinking, Vegas is just not my thing. it's just hard. And there are people from everywhere else in the world, and they were in booths, sleeping and eating, and it's just like I go back on the road. It's comedy clubs, and they're drinking beers and partying and yelling stuff. So I said, I don't think I'm a Vegas guy. So then they called and said, MGM Grand wants to maybe have you there, and I was like, I don't know. I went down to look at the room. It was a better room. It was like 7. It was just a nicer, more intimate, but still a strange room. David Copperfield works in it now, which is why I don't work in it now, because he wanted the room when I worked it. And so I said, well, I guess he made me disappear. Literally. And then he came to me in the newspaper. The newspaper printed it, and he came to me and says, why did you say that? And I said, it was a joke. He said, I didn't make you disappear. I said, no, it was a joke, dude. Like he didn't get, he didn't know that I was kidding. I don't know I was kidding. But he's like, why'd you tell the paper I did it?
You can't get that out of you.
So
that Trump is stuck in you.
Yeah, everyone I do is Trump. David Copperfield says, why'd you do that? It's horrible for you to do the paper. So I get MGM, and I did there for I think it was in and out like a year, and then finally they said, we want more of you, and I said, oh, all right. We're like begrudgingly doing it. I just didn't like it. I'd go on the road and do theaters, and I was a star and rock and roll, and then I get back to Vegas, and it was like, you're nothing. And you go back on the road, and people wearing Carrot Top shirts, and they're waiting in line and signing. It was just a different world. And we still had Carrot Top fans that would come to Vegas, but they weren't the whole theater. The whole theater was Carrot Top.
Yeah.
So it took me forever and ever to get used to Vegas. There was a different energy and a different vibe. Everything about this town is different than anything else you ever. And so finally, they said, "You don't want to sign you on for a year or something." I was, ugh. So I did it, and I started getting more into it. And then they said, I did about 10 years of that. Just we never signed it long. It was like a year, and it was about 10 years. And then David Copperfield asked for to get the room, and then I said, "Well, I got my wish. I get to get out of Vegas." And my people said, "Well, there's a room at the Luxor," and I said, I don't know if I still, He said, "Let's go look at it." And we went and looked at it, and it's beautiful. You've been to it. It's a beautiful, like a tiered up, like a movie theater. When in seats, there's no booths. You're sitting there. It's raised to the thing. It's just the right amount of people. It's like 400 people, and
it's a lot of people.
Yeah, when you get the road, you got 3,000 people. So it was a nice little intimate room. And so we said, yeah, we do it. Well, I said no at first, and then Felix Rappaport, who was the president, called me one day. He says, "Hey, all right, Scotty," never met me. The only person that ever called me Scotty. He says, "Scotty, we want to make you the face of our property." And I said, "This face?" He said, "Yeah, you're going to be this face." And I said, "Oh, man." I said, I'm on a plane. Let me call you back. He says, "This is not something you call me back. You just say yes, and then you call me back." I was like, "Can I call you back when I land and think about it?" He goes, "Nope.
Wow.
You want the gig or not the gig? I'm going to give it to somebody else." And I said, "All right, I'll take it." Because Rita Rudder wants it. I'm like, "All right, I'll take it." I mean, are you sure? I mean, I'm going to beg you. I said, "No, I just want to make sure I'm making the right choice."
Sure, yeah.
And now looking back on it, I would beg to stay there. So
yeah,
I'm very, very happy where I'm at.
Blessings.
It's unbelievable. Vegas has been the best thing in the world for me.
That's awesome. I love it. What a cool story.
Yeah, how I got here was weird, just by chance.
Yeah, and you hated it at first, and thought it wasn't for you. And now I picture when you were are laying out the image of what the little set that you built. All I picture is your backstage. I'm like, that's literally what his backstage.
That's kind of what it looks like. My backstage is very, Everyone that goes back there says that, "Oh my God, this is the best." I said, it is the best dressing room.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like 20, 30 years of building it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's like you're home away from home.
It is
has
pretty
to be cozy.
cool. It's a really cool room.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love it. What a cool story.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, and you must have seen a lot of changes too with Vegas because you've been here for so long, huh?
I have a joke in the show where I said, "Your room's not ready. Are you cleaning it?" "No, we're building it right now." This town. I mean, MGM was just there when I got there. It was brand new.
Wow.
With the big lion's mouth. It was
with the lions, the big lion. You walk through the head of it. And there was no New York. There was nothing on that side. Right?
Yeah, crazy.
Nothing, no city center. No.
Wow.
And the Mirage was it.
Yeah.
And that's true. Also back then, when I was playing, there was the number of shows that were in town on a particular night, dozen.
Yeah.
You know, now there's over 250 or something in just one given night. Maybe even more. I'm not doing the math right. But even this last week, I did it on my Instagram. I said, you know, what a weekend to be in Vegas. You got Shania Twain, you got Carrie Underwood, you got Hootie and the Blowfish, you got the Killers, you got me, you got, and I mean, I went through about 10 huge names, and they were all playing 8 o'clock Friday night, Saturday night.
It's crazy. I mean, we have all
And
these
the Raiders
arenas.
game.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my, you know, and the basketball, you got baseball. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I know. I'm so happy we're getting a baseball field.
I think they'll be good.
happy.
I mean, it'll be good to have, you know, this town definitely supports. I mean, the nights are beyond support. I think
Yeah.
they're sold out for the next 10 years or
Yeah,
something.
which
like
is so awesome.
Yeah, and it's fun. It gives so much energy to the city. And they came. The timing of that came in just right because we had the shooting, and it was just right after that shooting. They came, and it was like, wow! It really made everybody come together.
Yeah.
That's true. I never thought of that.
Yeah, they really did. Vegas needed sports anyways. Like, you can come here to gamble on sports, but you can't, like...
Yeah, I think that's what we were missing.
Yeah,
Sports. It's
I
good.
agree.
And the Golden Knights bring. I mean, they just bring so much energy, so much money to the city, and so much focus to the city.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah, I love it.
Are you on, like, I was going to ask you, does TikTok and stuff like that work for you as far as, like, reaching audiences? Like, does your
I do TikTok. I'm I'm an old guy, so I tried getting all that stuff late. You know, young people that work for me, I'm like, you know how to do this?
I don't know how to operate
I don't
it
know how
either.
to spell TikTok. Am I spelling it right? But we do. We I have a guy. We put it out. We try to do as much as we can socially. You know, there's business stuff, and then there's dumb ones that I do. You can always tell the ones that I do
They're
because
probably
they're
the
more
better
personal
ones.
from my heart. You know, and they're just sometimes just me singing a song in my kitchen.
Oh, I love that. I bet people love that, though.
Well, yeah, it's fun because people do. They're like, I like that. You just, sharing an old song from, and usually there's a reason why. Like Toby Keith, he was a dear friend of mine, and so we used to always. So when that happened, that was a rough one. You know, you had to kind of. But we do songs in the kitchen and talk about him. Yeah.
That's cool.
Sorry.
Do you, I mean, I guess more of my question is, like, do you reach a younger, are your audiences evolving with
it's
you?
amazing because my demographic, if you want to use like a marketing term, was always, from day one, they'd always say, what's my demo? I said, they would say, I have my demo was like 8 to 80. Always. And now I know why, because when I started so far long ago, when I started, it was I didn't have, first, it was more of a grassroots kind of thing because I would do clubs in colleges, and that's what got me into anything was the college circuit because I was just doing clubs. I could have easily just burned out and disappeared. But these colleges, they have like a convention, a national convention. I went up and I got like, I don't know, like every college bought me like with this a set. And we get done, they were like, it was mad. It looked like the New York Stock Exchange when they do the Everyone was buying carrot, buying carrot, buying carrot. So I got done. We were at the bar, and they said, "You beat Harry Chapin's record." And I'm like, "Harry Chapin, the singer of what?" And they said, "The number of colleges that booked you."
Wow.
So it was kind of like, oh, now I mean, it was exciting, but then I'm like, now I'm booked for like 2 years straight with like a desk job. Oh no, like I didn't have this I didn't know what I was going to do. How am I going to pull this off? So I had to get an assistant, and go tour for, 2 years straight. And I played I played every college twice. I mean, you name one: Ohio State, Notre Dame, Alabama, everywhere, University of Florida, stadiums, everything.
How fun.
Oh, it was fun.
Only U.S. or did you go other countries?
No, just national, just states. But it was amazing because I would do a show in the morning at the cafeteria, and then that night I would be in a different college at their theater, and then the next morning I'm in a cafeteria. Then I'm in a stadium. Then I was in like it was real. One more I said this is so I did perform for like 10 people eating in a cafeteria. I swear to God. They were eating and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then that night I was in a shed, a big arena where they play basketball with like 10,000 kids. It was this so weird, and you had to prepare for both shows in a different way. But it was definitely fun, and that's what kind of got me with the young kids. And then at all that college stuff was happening, I started to do TV, and I got like the Tonight Show and Regis and MTV and all these. It was all just kind of boom. So the weird thing was, I would see people that would watch Regis and Kathy Lee, older women, predominantly. That's their audience. Would say, "Oh my God, we saw this Carrot Top guy," and then their grandson or their son would say, "Oh, he played our college," and so everyone kind of was. And then I had Cartoon Network, so I'd have little kids,
How fun.
and then I have the MTV, so I'd have the college drunk stoners, and then I'd have the Tonight Show, which is mid 30s, 40s, and then I'd have the Regis audience, and then the telethon with Jerry Lewis. So literally 8 to 80.
Literally 8 to 80.
So everyone, and then I had AT&T commercials, and those were so big and broad that it was like I couldn't walk anywhere down the street. That was like, and it was those. I mean, anywhere. I did like the phone guy. I was the phone guy. And one time I was in a mall. It made me laugh because I was every comic ends up in a mall when you're on the road. I'm at this mall and this a couple of things happened. One, this lady said, "My son wants to ask you a question." And I said, "Oh, he's just a little kid." I said, "What's your question?" He wants to ask. He said, "I want you to tell you something." And I said, "What do you want to tell me?" And I thought it was from the Cartoon Network or something. He said, "You're a liar."
Oh.
And I said, "I'm a what? I'm a liar. Why am I a liar?" He says, "In the AT&T commercials, you say dial down the center with 1-800-CALLATT, and the one's not in the center." And I said, "You are going to be a lawyer when you get older. You're going to be someone smart, aren't you?" And look at his mom and said, "That's great. It's not." I told him, but at AT&T the next time we filmed, I said, "We're lying. It's not down the center. It's off to the center, then to the center." And they're like, "Just do it." I'm like, "I'm just saying. I'm getting
They're
heat.
calling me out.
I'm getting heat. I'm getting calling me
On the
out."
street.
But people would just think
You're
that I'm,
literally making me a
and they would just
liar.
think that I'm a phone guy. A lot of people, if they didn't know because they were on every channel.
Yeah.
If
That
they
is
had never
so
seen me in comedy, they would just say, "You're the phone guy," which I'm guilty of that. I'll see someone, "Oh, the guy in that phone commercial." "No, he's an actor." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know. I'm seeing him in a phone commercial."
Yeah.
So people would say, "What are you doing in town?" I said, I'm doing a show at the theater." And they said, "But like a phone show?" And I said, "Yeah, like a phone show." We talk about dialing. No. But it was true. People just thought I was the phone guy.
That is so funny. Like, we go over the nostalgia of what T9 used to be.
No.
Going to Vegas to see the phone guy.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
literally.
What
That's
a fun
funny.
life you've had.
It's been fun. It
Yeah.
has been. It's fun doing this, and it's also fun evolving. Evolving and growing, doing different. I do a lot more stand up in the show, which is fun. But it happened by accident. When I broke my ankle snowboarding because I thought I was Shaun White. I look like him. I
That's
should
so
be
funny.
okay.
I've actually thought about that too.
So that was my opening line. Yeah, I was, Shaun White broke his leg, Mike. But I thought he'd be better. I did too. So I was stuck on a leg, one of those knee scooter things for 6 months, and the day it happened, I was in Utah. The day it happened, I'm in the hospital laying there. I'm like, oh fuck, I have a show tomorrow night,
Oh, shoot.
and I'm like, oh my god, like didn't even dawn on me, and so I called and I said, they're like, what are we gonna do? We have to cancel. I said, no, go get me one of those knee scooter things, and they're like, you gonna? I said, well, try.
Yeah.
So they got it, and I never missed one show. I
Wow.
went, but I couldn't do my props. I could do minimal.
yeah.
I could just scoot over and grab one, and then. But it definitely wasn't, the manic
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
around, dancing around. So I learned how to do a whole different style, whole craft, just sitting
cool.
on it, sitting on it, just being like, Cosby, Carlin,
Yeah.
and it worked. I think it wouldn't if I was younger, because I don't know if I would have if I had the patience or the skill to do it, because I kind of just learned it. I was like, I can do this. I'm just going to tell a story about me and my dad.
How cool.
Yeah, and so now it's so evolved into that. It's great moments in the show. My favorite moments in the show are when I'm telling a story and it's just so quiet and they're just waiting. And one of my crew guys like, it's risky. Best part about that is most stand-ups know is, especially if it's a long bit, that fucking punchline better work,
payoff,
right?
yeah.
Because if you do that whole build up and then there's no
Yeah.
payoff, you're like, man, that's what I was always scared to do. And now I know it's going to get I know the thing, but man, they're just listening and they love it. It's because a lot of just about kind of retrospect of my career, because and basically that's what I say. I'm like, I'm old now. I can't hide it. You probably looked it up. So I'll just be the old guy and I'll tell you how I got here. They
love
like
it.
hearing it too.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
I'm so intrigued
cool.
by your whole story.
That the universe kind of like evolved that into your thing, right?
Yeah,
Like
because
that.
I wouldn't have. A lot of things happen. I mean, literally, like people say, the cliche, but they always say, things that happen or happen for a reason, things, all that, those kind of things they say.
Yeah.
But in honesty, that really is why I do all the stand up because I broke my leg.
That's so cool.
COVID, that was a weird that brought me into everyone into that. That changed the spectrum of how comedy. I mean, the first audience member was 500 feet from me, and two people only, and then two people, and then spread out, and with no one in front of you for 500 feet.
Right.
And I'm holding up props
Yeah.
with no screen to show. I mean, it was just you learned how to dig down deep and just say, this is funny, but you're gonna have to hope and pray that 30 people you can't hear them. You hope they laugh. It was crazy times.
Yeah, for sure. Did you? Speaking of Shaun White, have you ever met Shaun White?
Oh yes.
So you're the tomato and the carrot. Like it feels like
I've told him many times. We're good friends. As why'd you cut your power off?
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I said, you never cut your power, man. You can tie it up, but don't cut your power off. He's like, oh man, everyone says. I said, yeah. And now he's got you look like a banker. You look like you'd sell me a car. He's like, well, and he's a very smart kid. But now it's not even red, it's brown. I said, you're not even tomato anymore.
Oh.
He's nice though.
That's cool. Have you ever bombed? You have, because I was thinking about that because obviously every comedian talks about that, about and how
it's been a
important it is.
while.
Yeah,
I think I've built into a sense where I'm imbombable, and I don't think it's possible to bomb now. It's there's too many ways to know how to get out of it. But I absolutely am.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at this point, it's sort of like the Stones aren't going to bomb because everyone's going to see their stuff.
Well, that, and you kind of know as a performer, you know how to do believe it or not, George Carlin, I was beyond blessed to be able to know him, and he awesome. Loved me, which was, when you get to,
cool.
I know, because you don't know he's going to first even know you, and then secondly, he's not going to dig your stuff.
Yeah.
And he was just fascinated by, he would specifically pick out a joke and say, how did you? And I said, don't ask me how. How did you do? You came up with the stuff bit. How did you come up with that? Mine's dumb.
7 dirty words.
But yeah, but he was very fascinated by my stuff, and I'm forced by him, which I do a bit in the show where he mentions me in a special where he says, "Who packed your bags? No, did you pack your bags yourself? No, Carrot Top packed my bag." It's a great bit. And I was just fuck around. No, I have no worthy. But
that's amazing.
He said to me one time at the MGM Grand, I'd come in a day early. He was finishing his week, and I was coming in for my week. And I'm standing on the side, and I think, I don't want to bother him. And he walked by, and he I know he didn't have a good set. He didn't like it, but he got through it. And he walked by me, and he said, shit, when do you start? I said, tomorrow. He says, it's fucking Vegas. I said, because I remember him saying something like, next time, don't come to see me. Like he walked off kind of weird. And so I said, I'm in a bad mood. I don't want to bother him. But he said to me, how many shows do you do? I said, we do one on every day, but Saturday we do 2. He said, why do you do, immediately he says, why do you do 2 on Saturday? And I just said, because my manager has a car payment. I was just trying to be funny. And he didn't even laugh. He just no, why the fuck do you do 2? Are they making you do 2? I said, no, if I fuck up the first one, I'll get a second shot at the second one. He looked at me. He says, never say that again. Oh. And I said, what? And he was serious about it. Never, ever give the audience the upper hand. Never, ever say that you fucked it up and they can fuck it. If they get it, they fucking get it. They don't get it, fuck, they don't get it. Not you. Your shit's fucking brilliant. He walked into his room, and I was like, well, that went well. And I went to leave, and his manager's like, no. He wants you to come back. I'm like, he does? Oh yeah, he loves you. He wouldn't share his knowledge with you within it. So he brought me back, and I said, I said, what's it like? We talked for a bit, and he really didn't talk much about comedy. He asked more questions about me than he didn't say anything about himself, how he writes. In fact, if I asked him, but I said, what's it like though, to be, which brings me to this, what we were talking about, to be where you got it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Where you're up there and you're like, I think I got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he said, I ain't got shit.
Wow.
But he wasn't funny about it. He was like, I don't have anything. And he get that mean again. He's like, I don't have anything. And the reason we do it is to perfect it. And we're never going to perfect it. So you have to keep working every day. There's never going to be a perfect show. And you need to know that. And I was like, wow. And I kind of feel that. I'm not as bad as him in that regard. I have shows where I come up, I'm like, I call it a road show. I said, that's a fucking road show, because there's a difference between, the road shows we talked about earlier, the energy and the thing. And I said, fucking road show, we all do it. And there's nights where even if I nail it, I step, God, I had one I should have done, but I don't dwell on it. I used to a lot long ago. And then I realized I don't want to be that. You got to have fun, and you can't let that thing determine your whole, you gave it your all and you did good and you're proud of it.
Yeah, and you learn from it.
And then the next night, it's not. But if I bombed, I probably would not. But like I said, it's been years and years.
Thank God.
But I did. I bombed, and but I also bombed one time when I thought I bombed, and I had a standing ovation, and I left before. So I was in Montreal. It was a double billing. It was me and Amazing Jonathan. So Amazing Jonathan is, as you know, he's just crazy, and he's so funny, and I would sit there and watch him and just learn, and then I went up and did my thing, and I remember, I said, he's so good. I said, why don't we flip? I go for. He goes, no, you're last. I'm not. All comics do that. I should be the OP.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, there's no way. You're Carrot Top. I said, well, you're amazing. I mean, I'm not the incredible Carrot Top. I'm just Carrot Top. You're the amazing. So you're already fucking amazing. And he's like, yeah. I said, how do you even do that? How do you make yourself happy? It would be like, I would never say I'm amazing anything. I'd say, here's the mediocre Jonathan. And he'd always laugh. Because I'm amazing, is what he'd say. So one night we do it, and it's all industry people. It's up in Montreal for the comedy festival, and I mean everybody's in this room, from Jon Stewart, you name it. And I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but I'm definitely not doing well. I wouldn't say I'm eating it, but I'm just like, man, this sucks. I get done, and I literally run out the back door. And at the time, I was like in my Mick Jagger shorts and no shirt. I mean, literally, it's freezing cold.
Yeah.
And I walked 2 miles to the hotel in the streets of Montreal in no shirt and a T-shirt, no shoes. And
no shoes?
Well, I had my socks from when I walked off, but I didn't have shoes, and I just walked back to. But I'm walking back to a hotel that Conan O'Brien, everyone that is in comedy is in this hotel, and I'm just so fucking mad. I'm just huffing and puffing, and I'm running, and Jonathan and they come pick me up and the way, and they're like, "What do you got a standing ovation, you dumbhead?" And I'm like, what? He's like, they're going nuts.
Whoa.
And I'm like, fuck off. He says, no. And the girl's like, no, they all. So, no longer with us. Every day I'd see Jonathan, he'd always say the same thing. This motherfucker gets a standing ovation and runs home in his fucking panties. And I'm like, I did run home in my panties.
That did happen.
That did happen.
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
But, so I have bombed.
All right.
Yes.
Well, then, okay, because like I said, like especially with your props and stuff, I feel like you had a good kind of like. Speaking of Jonathan, yesterday was my birthday, and
happy birthday!
Thank you. My birthday party, I had one of my friends was there who said to tell you, ask him if he remembers me, which was Penny Wiggins.
Penny Wiggins, of course I remember Penny Wiggins. Love Penny. Love Penny.
I loved her.
She's great.
Yeah.
They were together. They're ridiculous.
Yeah.
So talented. She's so funny.
She's so funny.
She made
so
the whole
funny.
show.
Yeah.
I mean,
my God. Psychic Tanya.
She's great.
Yeah. I used to love. I did get to see him. He came to Absinthe and invited us back to see their show, and I just couldn't stop watching Penny. Like, she was so funny.
Yeah, she's brilliant. She's a brilliant,
and
really
even
funny
just
lady.
hanging out with her.
Just having coffee with her.
So naughty. Like,
she's so funny.
She like drops some fucking hilarious F-bombs.
Yeah,
and like,
she's very funny.
No, she was hitting on Roman last night at his birthday dinner. She was like, "How old are you?"
He's 15.
He's 15. Okay.
She is. Yeah, she's a legend. Actually, we were talking about having her on because she has to have amazing stories.
Oh yeah, my God, she'll have. She must have tons.
For sure.
She'd be hilarious.
Yeah, she is so great.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go please.
No, or is it on topic?
No.
Okay, so another question.
Yeah.
You've been here for so long. Do you have any cool stories with like Siegfried and Roy?
I met them. I knew them well. I went to their show a few times. I thought I was always just I love them and I love that show and I love the circus and I love I'm a clown in a sense
Mm-hmm.
Siegfried and Roy's show to me was Vegas. It was something about that show that it was so campy and so but that's what made it perfect because you were going there to see that, right? Like people say, it was so. I'm like that. I really miss them because they were just the big showmen. They had the big. I still steal that. I have a big diamond jacket that I wear at the end just because because Roy and then did the cape and you got to have a little Vegas in you.
Yeah.
And I went to their show and they brought me back and they had where you can play with the little tigers and stuff.
How cool.
And I just thought the cool thing was about they bring you back and you're like they have people, they have these guys with no shirts that just stand there with and they're beautiful, you know what I mean, like there's like studs, and they just stand there with a tray of drinks and you and then you're like oh thank you and you're like did they not let you wear shirts? That's horrible.
They're like Abercrombie
and they did
models.
Abercrombie models. They have Elton John. You go to Elton John's. You go to Elton John's. After before the show, he's got a green room. The same thing. They're
same thing.
But they're like Abercrombie models that just stand there and they serve drinks.
That's
amazing. I love
Wait,
that.
I'm gonna request that if I ever have a show and be like, I want the Abercrombie models.
Yeah, have stand there. Just stand. I'm stand. Don't even stop saying anything. In fact, don't say anything. Just don't speak.
Yeah.
But he had and I remember just thinking this is so like what I would think it would be. There's naked guys holding drinks and there's tigers. You're petting tigers and they're like talking in German. Did you have a good time? How do you not have a good time? And this is just amazing.
Yeah.
And so,
That's so
and the show was
cool.
just so good because of what it was. It was that it was just the big production and the magic and it was great. Loved
It was
it.
great.
And I got to know them for years. They every time I see them at an event, they would come over and hug me and
That's so cool. I was really, really, really young when I saw them. So like I have small clips of memories of the show, but same thing, very spectacular, very like fabulous, very all the things that you want Vegas to be.
Absolutely, it was
it was
Vegas.
It was Vegas, literally Vegas. And then they had like that secret garden, and they had like the dolphins and stuff. I actually watched a baby dolphin be born at their secret garden,
cool.
which is pretty cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I was on Ringling Brothers. I toured with them for 5 years, and it was the same producer as Siegfried and Roy. It was kind of Feld. And we got to go and see their show once, and I remember they brought a handful of us back into the dressing room, and they did that magic trick. I don't know if they did it for everyone, where they would throw the cards up and it would stick to the ceiling, and it would be
that's cool.
your signature. And there was like
it's
all
great.
of these amazing signatures from all these, and you didn't see it because you were like they had you focused.
Because I was looking at the naked guys.
Yeah.
I didn't see I didn't look up.
That was a misdirection.
That's
God damn it.
misdirection. That's a great. I think I know
time.
what you're talking about. That's a great. And that's great that they're all the names up there.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool. You just kind of look and like, oh my god, like presidents and everybody.
Yeah,
everybody.
Michael Jackson, you name it. It was all
Everyone,
up there.
everyone
That's really cool.
went to that show. Yeah,
Yeah.
presidents, Michael Jackson. I mean, yeah.
I wonder if they have those ceiling tiles somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because how special would that be?
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, Howie Mandel did that when did his podcast not long ago. He's been a friend for a year. And one thing I was amazed by when you just said they had that, I'm sitting in like this. He's got a beautiful big warehouse and a beautiful little set, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is that? What are those chairs? That it was like 4 like bright blue, like this kind of blue seats, like a theater seats, together, a chunk of them. I said, it looks like the Tonight Show. And he goes, that is. And I said, how did you get the front row of the Tonight Show?
That's so cool.
He goes, when that show was done, I still did it in that studio. But when,
That was with Carson?
yeah,
Or-
but when Carson left, they used that same studio with Jay
Okay.
for about a year, and then Jay said, I want. He didn't care about wanting to set. He wanted to be like a stand-up, so they built that whole Tonight Show set where it's like this. There's a stage with the comics, and then the crowd. It's either one of those. It's a weird set, but the Carson was just blue. 4 sets of you walk up in the audience and what's your name and. I did not know that. Tell me. So Nebraska. So he would do the thing, and I'm just like, I gotta sit in these fucking things, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, how cool is that? He goes, well, this is the light that's over his desk. Wow. And I'm like, what? All right, you got to take me on a tour.
Yeah.
So everything that he has in his warehouse, in his studio, and all that is all from these amazing shows that were like the Tonight Show. He has a lot of that.
Yeah.
But then he'll have just like that lamp is from Ed Sullivan's
Wow.
study. I mean, it's just mind blowing.
Is he in LA?
That's really
Is
cool.
that his?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just remember thinking, God, that's so cool that you admire all that to take the time to he said he went there and they were going to gut it, and he says, Can I have it? And they said, sure.
Wow.
He's backed the truck up, and he did everything they said he
Damn.
could take. The desk, he put part of the desk.
Amazing.
Wow,
The
that
chair.
is really cool.
Yeah, some of the set.
How'd you get
the
it?
little table, they just said, "Yeah, you take it."
How'd he get it? He just asked.
Yeah, he just
Yeah.
asked. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm such a sucker for nostalgia like that, like pieces of history.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is what this person wore. This is what.
Yeah.
This is the scene where they did this, and
Yeah,
this is
I
the
love
bed.
that, too.
Me too. I love it.
My neighbors have the door of the off of one of the space shuttles, and I'm like,
Whoa.
how the
Yeah.
they're billionaires first. And they flew into space. They're the
Oh.
first couple to fly into space. So they because my dad worked at NASA, so I'm like, you want to come over and see all of our space stuff? So I'm walking around their 50,000 square foot house. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, that's the door off the space shuttle. And I'm like,
Whoa.
how did you? Well, I know. Yeah, you did. How did you get how? It blew my mind. I'm like,
Yeah,
can I
that's
touch it?
crazy.
Yeah, you can't touch it. I mean, it's like it's all in a thing.
Yeah, sure.
But I was like, God Almighty, that's kind of
Yeah,
cool. They
that's
have some
cool.
really cool stuff.
Well, you
know.
could or couldn't touch it.
No,
Your dad worked for NASA?
my dad worked for NASA.
Holy
And that's why
shit.
she was wanted to show me so badly. You'll
That's
you'll
wild.
appreciate all this stuff.
What did he
yeah.
do?
That is really cool.
He was a logistics engineer.
Whoa.
And he
Was he like part of the launch?
everything.
Wow.
He there's pictures I have him training them to drive on the moon, the lunar module.
Yeah.
So my dad trained him how to
So that's
simulator.
Not, so that's not fake. The
No, I know. My dad would lose his mind right now if he heard people say it was fake.
Yeah,
even
it's
back then,
crazy.
well, it wasn't. I mean, but people back then would even say like, there wasn't been one whistleblower since it happened. Like, all these
Yeah,
people that worked out there,
sure.
millions of people. No, it happened, but they show him on the where they train him, and then they show him. The last one he did was pretty intense because I remember when I came home and my dad was just like working on something. He said, "Oh, your dad's in a foul mood. Let's go eat. We're gonna go out to eat." And my dad's like, "I'm not in a foul mood. I'm working on." My dad's real grumpy. I said, "What are you working on, Dad?" And he said, "Well, the space shuttle is on top of the 747," and I said, well, how are they going to do that? He goes, well, that's what this is all true. He said, so we're trying to figure out a way to get it's the weight and the everything, balance weight, because they have to practice a landing. So NASA said, how do you have to launch it? So they can't launch the shuttle and practice land it. So they released it from the 747, and then that's how they landed it the first time. So my dad's like, we're trying to figure out how to get the balance in the thing so they can do it, and then we have to figure out a way for it to release. And I'm like, my dad was part of that. Where they had to come up with these clamps,
shit.
and they had to hold it, and that velocity and speed, and then they had to go, all right, release shuttle, and they actually work so it doesn't just fall off the, nosedive or whatever, disaster. And it released, the plane left, and they landed at Andrews Air Force Base. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm like, my dad's pretty cool.
Your
Were
dad's
you-
amazing.
Were
That's
you
so
aware of
cool.
that as a kid, of how cool
No,
your dad
well,
was?
at that point, I remember telling him the story about that when he was drawing it, because that was around. I was a little older, but younger. Yeah, I was aware of it, but I hated it because I'm like, I want to watch. I want to watch Gilligan's Island. I don't want to go watch a launch
Again.
again.
A stupid launch. Yeah. And
Really, I don't want to go to the Space Center and sit on top of the VAP. I don't want to do that.
Interesting. Yeah.
I'm
Growing
a
up in the
kid.
circus, people are always like, it must have been so cool growing up in the circus. I was like, that's how I grew up. I don't know
Yeah,
any other
right,
way.
right.
So you wonder if what that's like having a parent, but you're like, oh,
Right.
that's just
Then as
every
I
day.
got then I got older, I did appreciate. I definitely now, but even when the first shuttle launched, my dad said, "You want to go meet the astronauts?" And I was like, "Well, yeah."
Yeah.
So we went out and
Did he
got
get
to
to
meet Bob Crippen and John
Oh my
Young.
gosh, how crazy! Did he get to? Did he live long enough to see your fame and all that?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's cool.
And he was definitely not into it in the beginning. I mean, my dad wanted me to work. I do a whole thing in this story about it in the show.
I bet.
About, I want to be a comedian. My dad's like, that's never going to happen. And then my dad said, what do you want to be? He says, you're going to be an engineer like me. I'm like, you do know that's probably never going to happen. I'm the stupid kid. My brother went to the Air Force Academy.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah, it's a whole story in the show. It's kind of, I think people know I try to make it's real. I said, my actual father worked at, that's him on the thing. This, my brother is in a jet. And I said, now here's me with a dildo and a walker. But it's a cool part of the show because it really is like, I say my whole adopted life I really wanted to be but my dad wasn't into it at all. And then probably just because you have young kids, so you're probably not like against it so much as you're just concerned for them. Like,
Yeah,
he's
sure.
like, he's thinking like, you're not gonna make it in
it's
show
hard.
business, right? So he's like, Scott, you're from Cocoa, Florida, and I'm like, I know, but I didn't think about that. I didn't think about it that way. I'm like, well, let me just try.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if I failed, I was going to fail. I just wanted to give me, and I wasn't trying to be famous. I just wanted to see if I could do it. Never thought about making it my career, ever. And then finally that one day you have enough gigs and you're like, oh, I think I can quit my job and just do comedy. I did that and then ran out of gigs.
What
and
was
I
your
went
job?
back to doing. I was doing everything from working at a Budweiser plant, delivering bread for Pepperidge Farm, and then I got into comedy, did it, and then I couldn't get enough gigs, so I just quit, and I started shucking oysters at this bar
In Florida?
in Orlando, and one of my friends said I need someone to do a gig on New Year's Eve, and I said I'm not in comedy anymore. He's like, the fuck, we're doing comedy. I mean, you're Carrot Top. And I'm like, yeah, I'm shucking oysters. Like, you're shucking oysters? No, you're not. You're fucking. I swear to God, I never get that. So I said, I haven't done a show in a year. I don't have any gig plan. It's New Year's Eve. It's a death mat. I'm not doing this. He said, you're doing the gig. And I'm like, well, I'm going to pay you whatever. It was more than I ever been paid to, So I said, I know it was no time to practice. I just went and grabbed all my shit and kind of dusted it off, and I ate shit, but everyone did that night, right? So I was lucky that it was New Year's Eve and people thought, shooting corks at you and crap. And I got done, and somehow I was back in it again, and I went up to Charlotte, and this guy said, I have, X amount of clubs. It'll keep you busy for before the college is, 2 years. We'll buy you a condo. We'll get your car. In a sense, you'll be my manager kind of thing. So, okay. So wasn't bad. I gave him 90%. And then, but I got a credit card, I got it. So, and then I went back. But there was a moment, like, I did fail a lot. But going back to the NASA, I want to tell you, it was pretty funny. So I was at one of the launches. I remember I was like 14, and I didn't want to go. It was a hot day, and we're out in this, well, the launch is just grass field waiting for the rocket to go. And I kept saying, why aren't we in the building where you work? We're going to meet the astronauts, because they had all these other astronauts out there. And I was like, so there's a truck, food trucks and stuff. So they have a tent for hot dogs and Cokes and popcorn and stuff. And they have a beer tent. So my dad's like, what do you want? I said, just a Coke and a hot dog. And my dad looked at the tent for the beer line. There was one guy in it, and the line for the hot dogs and Cokes and all the necessities that was like 50 deep. And my dad literally looked at me. He says, "You're having a beer." Swear to God. And I said, "What?" He said, "You're gonna have a beer. I'm not waiting." My dad was just so ornery, cranky. So I said, "Okay," and don't tell your mom. So
amazing.
I'm just. He gives me the beer, and he kept look. We'll try it, and I sip. He's good, and I said, I don't like it. He says, well, if the line goes down, I'll get you a Coke. Just stay hydrated.
Just stay hydrated.
So I'm sitting there like, half buzzed trying to watch a launch. And Dad says, how was the launch? I said, I saw 3 of them. I don't know which one I'm looking at.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
What a great
amazing.
story. Your dad sounds amazing.
Yeah, he was fun. I called him Pop Top. That was my name. And my brother's
That's so
Garrett,
cute.
so I call him Garrett Top. So it's kind of the whole family's silly.
That's amazing.
At some point, you transformed, right?
To a woman, yes.
No, at one point you got giant, right? Like When did that happen?
Well, I'm only 1.6 to 55 right now.
But am I wrong though? There was
I
one
got a
time.
little bigger, but it wasn't as people. I think the TV ads. I got a little bit. I just got into like lifting weights so much that I was like, holy shit!
When was that?
Oh God, that was probably 15 years ago now, probably.
Because I
when I
remember
first got
seeing
here,
a photo of you
I was
once, and
bored, and I was like, I'm just gonna work out every day.
Okay.
I got nothing else to do.
Okay.
I'm not on the road. I have nowhere to go, so I'd go to the show, and then I guess I'll go to the gym.
It's like a prison thing where you go,
Yeah,
what else am I going to do?
I thought I could you go to the casino and gamble and drink and do crack and do that, or I'll go take care of myself and work out. So I just got into this big deal, but then after, I don't know, a couple of years of that, I was like, okay, I'm not that guy.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like working out,
You
but I
did
don't
it,
like...
yeah. But you were huge because I remember seeing a photo
I
of
was
you.
huge.
And I was like, that's Photoshop. And I saw another one. I was like, that's got to be Photoshop.
No, it wasn't
and
Photoshop.
Like,
I was big,
you
but
were
I mean,
ripped.
but there have been ones they have Photoshop. I mean, especially now with AI. My God, there's so many good Carrot Top ones out there. I'm like, Jesus,
I
people.
will be looking that up as soon as I get home.
They're crazy. The people are nuts.
I did.
They just did one the other day, and not everyone thought it was real, but they were supposed to be Beyonce at the convention. There was all this talk of it.
Oh, yeah.
And she didn't show. And
Yeah.
so the
Right.
next day on Twitter, it says, disappointment, Carrot Top is the special guest at the DNC. And then they show a picture of me, but it's like, from 25 years ago, 30 years ago. And I had friends call me like, dude, what was that like? Wow, what is that like? And I'm like, it was a joke. Dude. The fuck? Like, you can see it's a joke.
You're like, I wish I was at the DNC.
But the picture they used of me, I'm like, and I wasn't, no.
Oh my god.
That's hilarious.
It is funny, though.
That is
I'm
hilarious.
going to look that up as soon as we're done.
Oh my god.
It's all over Twitter. It's like, good
That
lordy.
convention was quite a show. I was
Yeah.
very enjoyable. I
Yeah.
enjoyed every day of it. All right, so we did this thing on our social media, and we asked some of our subscribers if they had any questions for you.
Oh.
And there's a couple of really nice ones, so I figured I would ask them. We don't usually do this. Someone said, Emery 1969 said, I always enjoyed Carrot Top. He always makes me laugh. Your impression of Wendy from Wendy's hamburgers always made me laugh. What is your favorite comic stint you have ever done?
Well, that was my Freebird, my Wendy's. I mean, people would go, they would howl, request it.
The classic.
Do the Wendy.
Yeah.
It
Do you
was
ever
a cute
Julie do
bit.
it?
I do a whole thing about going to Wendy's with my hair clips, and
Yeah.
I walk in, and she's here. And
Do you ever bring it back at all?
I think I do a reference to it, but I don't. Yeah, think
I love that
a
it's your
clip.
Freebird.
It's my free. Yeah. Favorite bit though, I don't know. I had a bit with Domino's bit. That was my favorite bit. Back in the club days was I mean I did it for a while, but in the clubs it was unreal. And I mean comedy club owners would be like, how the so I had this Domino's outfit, the jacket, the hat, and the box, the whole thing. And so it just started out with just one gag. I'd say, hey, you know what's fun? When you order pizza, dress up like the Domino's guy when they show up. So when they open the door and he's like, "Do you order pizza?" Like, "Do you order pizza?" I'm like, what the? And it was so dumb, but it was visually funny, right? I mean, even Adam Sandler and I did it on a cruise ship. I had my jacket, and he says, "Let's do this." And there's a picture of Adam Sandler wearing my Domino's.
That's amazing.
So it turned into that. It was that, and then it turned into this. I mean, as my manager would call it now, do the Domino's bit. It would be a 30-minute bit.
Oh my god!
It started with one joke, and just kept building. And then one night, it's just 20 minutes long at least. And I said, hey, I'm at the comedy club. I said, hey, you know what we should do? We should order pizza. And the guy's like, what? I said, do you have a phone? We didn't have cell phones.
Yeah.
Can we get a phone? So the guy the club owner brought the phone up on the stage.
Oh my god!
And someone looked up Dom, and they gave me the number, and I swear it became like this. It was an infamous bit though. We have this somewhere, and they'd say, and I put the mic to the phone,
God,
and they say,
amazing.
"Thank you for calling Domino's. Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I would like to order like 50 pizzas." And he's like, 50? I said, yeah, probably 50. And he says, I just make them all pepperoni. And the crowd, you were kind of laughing. And he says, you want any drinks? I said, we got drinks. And we'd always get a big laugh. We're good on drinks. He said, we can't drink. I said, and most of them, they had 30 minutes or less. So I said, and so
shit.
remember that?
Yeah.
I said, so you have 30 minutes. You'll be here in less than 30 minutes, right? He says, yeah. He said, the time is 12:13. And I'd say, okay, go. And I'd hang up and everybody laugh. And then I'd put a clock on
Oh my God.
the wall. And I would say 30-minute countdown. And then I'd go back to the show and just wait.
Amazing.
And then kept looking up, and I said, he should fucking be here. And then all of a sudden, he would show up, and we did it at the clubs first, and then theaters. I mean, it was,
Wow.
and the hardest part was it was every night was ad lib different. It wasn't like it was a plan. It wasn't like my buddy did it.
Right.
It's the real guy.
Yeah.
And everyone was different. You know, one guy would we wouldn't come on stage. One would come up and just take a picture and have fun with me. And then I thought, this bit has to go further. I know what we'll do. We'll call Domino's, and then we'll call Pizza Hut.
Oh,
We'll
my
see
God.
which one gets there first. And then that became a thing. So then the Pizza Hut guy and Bud would both come, and I said, come here. And I said, will you, the Pizza Hut guy, will you eat a slice of Domino's? And when the Domino's guy eat a slice of Pizza Hut, it'd be fun. And they were like, "Oh, we're not. You can eat just." And the crowd would go apeshit. And I said, "Here, and do like the the girl guy thing, and you feed him his, and you feed.
Amazing.
And there's a Pizza Hut guy feeding the Domino's guy a pizza.
That is amazing.
And the crowd would go ape. I mean, just literally ape shit. And then I'd say, "Oh fuck! Oh, I gotta pay you." And I'm But the bit it became so big that I just when I got here I couldn't do it. But one of the things I probably could one
At the
night.
Luxor.
Yeah, I probably could, but it was fun because it wasn't a plant.
Yeah.
It wasn't my guy.
It was real.
It was real,
Yeah.
and it would go good or go bad regardless of how it went.
Yeah,
so it was
how
fun.
That is
Fun.
really fun.
Holy shit. Oh my God. There's people out there that experience that pizza thing, Like,
Yeah,
they're like,
yeah.
we had that pizza.
Yeah, they probably did.
Yeah.
I did that for years.
That's
That is so
awesome.
fucking cool. Oh, I love it.
I want to have pizza.
I know. Right
Yeah.
now we're all hungry.
Can we call and order a pizza?
Yeah,
We'll have to have you on again and order pizza.
yeah. Be fun. I have my outfit. It's in the warehouse.
I Heart Rifty asked, have you ever gotten bullied for being a ginger?
Every day. What are you talking about? Jesus. There was something on TikTok just the other day. One of the girls from Fantasy came in and asked me if I'd be on her TikTok, and I said, "Sure. What is it?" And it's like a viral thing, I guess, where some girl says, "I hate that ginger bitch so much." That. So she comes in, she says, "Will you do this with me?" And I said, "Yeah." So I'm on her TikTok I'm just behind her going like. But it's
my
funny.
God.
He says, "Well, I hate this ginger bitch," and it's me.
Yeah.
So, of course I was bullied. That's why I got into comedy probably because
Yeah.
I had red hair. I lived in a surf town. I mean, I lived Cocoa Beach. Everyone had blonde hair and tan and surf, and I'm redhead, freckles, and I wanted to be everybody else. I didn't want to be this, and so. I was always picked on, That's why I came up with Carrot Top. I mean, I thought, that's people would yell things. I don't know if people ever called me Carrot. That's why I don't know where I came up with that. But they call you Ginger, which I always thought I never liked the word ginger.
Yeah.
But
You just got to really embrace it.
Oh, I've embraced being a redhead. I got a letter from the National Redhead Association of America. Which
Wait, that's a
Did you
thing?
know there's a thing?
Yeah, that's amazing.
National Association, Redhead Association of America, and I get this letter, and I think it's a joke. It's a beautiful stationery. It's got something on it, Redhead of America. I swear I'm not making this up. And I'm reading the letter, and it says, we are so disappointed and so upset with you that you took the moniker of Carrot Top and made it so negative. People have suffered through. Went on and on. And I'm like, what? First of all, is this real? And secondly, I've done everything for redheads.
Yeah,
I don't make fun of
100%.
redheads. I make fun of the.
Yeah.
If anything, I give them.
You're an inspiration.
Yeah, I'm an inspiration to them.
Yeah.
Now it's purple and blue and green and red, so it's fucked up my brand.
That's a true story. They reached out to you?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
unreal.
And I thought, I'm not making fun of redheads.
Yeah.
I'm
Not even a
helping
little
them.
bit.
I'm branding.
making it
I'm
as a
making
redhead.
I'm making it as a redhead, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
real.
absurd. That is absurd.
I don't think I ever wrote back to him.
All right, last question. Carly Kubert on TikTok said, does the carrot bottoms match the carrot top?
Oh, nice. I have tile put in.
How many times have you heard that?
Hardwood floors.
Yeah, I'm hardwood floors. Yeah. That's how they get me. Cause, God, I was asked that on that question on. You remember the show? It was. It's not Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, but it's one that had that. It was a little German lady with the gray hair, and it was shit. About the same time that show came out, they all had the same kind of,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And I'm on there, and it was a huge show. And she says to me, "Do the carrot match drape?" And I said something like, I put whatever, and she just lost her mind, and it was like, thought it was the craziest thing someone's ever said. I was like, you set me up.
Yeah, you asked.
Yeah,
you opened that
asked.
door. That's hilarious.
Man, you are a legend. You really are.
Literally
that means
a
I'm old.
legend.
That means I'm old.
No, you really are. Well, you are, but you are also a legend. It's true. Like, it's pretty amazing what I said in the beginning about like
One of a kind.
one of a kind. Like, you really are, man. And it's like, it's thank you for coming on. And it's such a
It's
pleasure.
great.
And literally, like as a kid, I remember watching and I grew up in the circus around clowns. I went to clown college, and you're right. Like, you are a clown, like not in a negative sense, which a lot of politicians use these days,
Yeah.
like the circus. But that's what clowns did: is they learned how to use props, gags. I mean, you just did it without makeup and a red nose, and you did it, and you made it. You know, do you have? I was going to ask you that too, but before we let you go, like, did you have? I mean, you must have had copycats and a lot of. Did you have like a nemesis? You're always like, that fucker is always stealing my shit, or I feel like you're so far ahead that no one could
what's
do
so
it.
weird is, and I've said this just the other day that to someone, I said, there's not a new Carrot Top. Like, there's not a new.
Yeah.
And I always say that's because no one wants to be it. It's a rough. You don't be a prop comic. It's a rough head trail. But no one's. There was only one guy that was on a cruise ship doing something one day that someone came to me and said, "This guy's doing your act," and I was like, "Well, I don't have an act, so what's he doing?" And they said, "No, he's doing your exact act." And I said, "Well, like what?" And they said, He's doing," and they told me that, and I said, "What?" And they said, "Yeah." I'm like, "Okay." And we never looked further into it, but he was like doing my exact act.
Interesting.
It was on a
Cease and
cruise
desist.
ship, and it was doing, but he was even doing certain props, and I'm like,
Wow.
well, people probably know that it's not his,
Yeah.
right? I mean, unless he was trying to do a spoof of me. I mean, I've had drag queens do Carrot Top before, but
That's fun.
yeah, this is fun. Yeah. Big, huge Carrot Tops. Hair kid. Like that's a big Carrot Top.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
but
wild.
yeah, people always spoof me in shows and whatnot. But this guy was actually doing it. But I just say, yeah, should we look into it? I said, no, don't look into it. Yeah.
Did you ever consider doing sort of like what Gallagher did, where he kind of,
Oh, have another one.
or another ones,
Another Carrot Top.
just going all over the
Yeah,
place?
if we could find another one of me. I don't know. Not a lot of. God bless if we find someone. I mean, I have fans that come to the show that are so close to looking like me that it's freaky.
Wow.
But I mean, Gallagher had his twin. It was
That was wild.
legitly his twin.
That
twin.
story's wild too, right? Like,
Unbelievably
they
wild.
sued him, right? Did you know that story? That Gallagher let his brother do because he wanted to stop for a while, but then he wanted to come back and do it, and his brother who took it sued him and said, "No, this is mine now." Is that right? Am I
Yeah,
close?
similar. So basically yes. The only thing that happened, Gallagher never really took a break from it. What he did was he wanted to have more of him out there somehow, and he's beyond brilliant guy because that's how he thought that, like, hey, I'm in Omaha. Why can't I have Gallagher also in California? My brand everywhere.
Was it his twin?
It's twin brother.
Yeah. Okay.
The only problem and I love Ronnie. Ronnie's the twin, and Leo was real Gallagher. I know Ronnie do them both real well. Ronnie's still alive, but Ronnie didn't have. He looked just like him, but he didn't have
That thing.
the
Yeah.
style and the cadence and the timing and the charm and the everything. He
Yeah.
looked like him, but he didn't. It wasn't him.
Right.
And the crowds didn't know. They would advertise him at Sam Kinison and Gallagher too, like also, but it was two.
Mm-hmm.
So the crowds don't know. They're like, it's fucking Gallagher
Yeah,
doing the
yeah.
thing, and he would do the whole show. So Gallagher wanted to play New Year's Eve in Detroit, and he called up the venue and said, "I want to book my show in Detroit," and they said, "You're already booked in Detroit on New Year's Eve." He said, "That's impossible. I don't have a booking. I'm calling to get." No, you're Gallagher. You're booked at the other venue in Detroit. So he calls his brother and says, "Hey man, the fuck? I'm trying to do New Year's Eve in Detroit. You got to cancel your show." And he's like, "I'm not canceling my show. It's booked." And he says, "No, I'm asking you as your brother. You have to cancel, do it somewhere else, and let me play Detroit." And he said, "No."
Oh my gosh.
And Gallagher's like, "Okay." And then he sued him, and of course won.
The original sued him.
Sued him,
Okay.
and it was ugly. Imagine that. And then the brother had to not only quit, but he wasn't allowed to wear a mustache or striped shirts. It's all part of the agreement.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Got dirty.
But he did give him. People always thought he just stole. He did let him do it. He just, Ronnie should have said, "Yeah, I'll take the night off, or I'll go eat shit somewhere else." But don't, my brother wants it. It is your act.
Yeah.
It was kind of bad on Ronnie's part.
Yikes, yeah.
Yeah.
He came to Absinthe and hung out after the show.
If I have a
lovely.
Carrot Top too, that motherfucker better cancel the show when I ask for him.
Who do you like these days? Who's out there that you like comedian-wise? Like,
I just said this last night backstage because I swear I said everyone I go on all these people, they say, who's the comics that you like now? And I say George Carlin, and they go no, like new, and I'm like George Carlin. I am so bad at looking and finding new talent in anything. I'm still with music. I still listen to Motley Crue and the Stones and Queen. They're like, dude, there's other bands. I'm like, I know, but I put on Queen. I'm happy. I put on the Stones. I put on
I get
Pet
it.
Shop Boys. I mean, I put all the shit that I grew up with. I don't ever venture into new.
Yeah,
and
I
that's
get it.
bad of me. But especially with comedy, like I don't know anyone.
Huh.
And when I lived in L.A. and I'd go down to the clubs just to watch, I never did anything. They would always say, "Want to do a guest spot?" I'm like, "Fuck no." But I would just sit there in the back and watch new comics, and that was very fun because there's so many funny people out there, and you never see them. You're on the road, and I'd sit back there. I'm like, "Man, that guy's really funny." That's you come off. I'm like, you're great, man. That was funny, very clever. You're going to be a star." And then it turned out to be, like Dave Chappelle or some shit.
Yeah.
I saw Dave when he was just starting.
Oh, my God.
That's
I mean,
so
a lot of
cool.
comics that I just started, they were just going up.
Oh my gosh.
And I knew then, I'm like, this guy's,
Had it.
gonna be good.
Has it. We watched that. Did you ever watch Tony? Kill Tony.
Yeah,
That's fun. You should go on that. You should be.
Yeah,
on
I
there.
would be.
That would be fun. It's
You'd
fun.
be a great guest on
You would be a
there.
great guest on there. Yeah. Let's put that into the universe because
Yeah.
I want to see you on there.
yeah, that would be good.
That's a fun concept. I love it. I love that idea that
think
he's
they're
like
trying- yeah, I think they're trying to
Yeah,
get
he's
it.
like launching careers, which is really
Yeah.
cool. Like I think that I thought about that here in Vegas for a podcast. I was wondering if you could do something sort of like that because how cool is that to have all these people like try? And these days, like it's obviously I feel like back when you started, it was harder. Now these days, everyone is on the internet, so.
Yeah,
you know.
it's definitely a different approach and all that now, and a way to get seen and noticed. Yeah, we didn't have cell phones, we
Right.
didn't have computers, I mean,
Yeah.
we had
Yeah.
nothing, and I wasn't on TV, so it was just out there by word of mouth, and
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
you did it the hard way.
I did, in a sense, I did. Yeah, we did. It was just different. I was sure it was
Yeah.
might be harder now than it was when I started. I don't know how
guess-
hard it was.
well,
I
I
don't
guess
know. 'Cause
now-
if I started now, who knows? I'd say, wow, this was a lot easier. I'd say,
Yeah.
well, this is a lot harder. you know?
Yeah, it was. Everybody has a platform now, right? And the cool thing is like, I mean, especially on our social media, like there's so many funny, like some of the comments are genius.
Yeah.
And it used to be right. You didn't get to see these funny guys, right? You
Right.
needed an agent, you needed
Yeah.
a book, all that
Right,
stuff.
right.
Now all of a sudden you just need to go on social
Yeah, yeah,
media
yeah.
and make a funny comment. And there's some funny people out
Yeah.
there. It turns out.
Yeah, there are a lot of
So it's
a
kinda
lot.
cool. Yeah.
And a lot of and like the style of the props and stuff that I've always built. Almost every day, some of my crew will show me something. I'm like, man, I did that 20 years ago. There was one in particular that made me laugh because it just happened. It was on the cover of either Time or one of those big magazines, and it was a walker with the presidential seal on it. They're making fun of Biden, and I'm like, before they showed me, I said, before I even said anything. We all went to my warehouse. It's there.
Oh,
I
wow.
did it 30 years ago.
Wow.
And it was this cover is so funny. I'm like, I did that 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, God, no, I don't get credit for that. I didn't.
No.
I was gonna do a side by side on my Instagram and say, that, and then show me with mine in my, in my warehouse, all beat up and banged up. Like that's how long ago. It was
Yeah.
that good. That's the people be like, that's funny.
Who was the president yours was for?
I'm assuming it was probably. It had to be Reagan.
Reagan,
or,
I was going to say, yeah. Hilarious.
It had to be Reagan, yeah, because it wouldn't have been. There was no one president we made fun. Reagan probably. Yeah.
Yeah, he was the old guy right back then. Yeah.
Clinton, Clinton. I just Clinton. Clinton's not. It's hard if you go. It's hard to do from Clinton to Trump because it's so. He's like that, and then
that's a good Clinton.
Yeah.
You do good impersonations.
I can do one word impressions. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like I
okay.
said, that's great. You know, that's it for Clinton. If I had to say a whole sentence like "liquid death," that's great. You know, but liquid death, it's not. It's the best. I made liquid death. It was never liquid death. But yeah, the Trump I had more fun. But yeah, I met Clinton, and that was kind of cool because he knew me.
That's cool.
And so I'm standing there. I'll let you go on this one, because it's kind of a funny story. And it's beyond. It's not just funny. It's just bizarre. Okay. And you said you've lived a good life. This is one of those you're like, what the fuck? So I lived in Orlando my whole life. Still have a house there. So NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, they're all from there. I've known them since they were literally younger than your son. So one day I'm in LA and they say, hey, you want to go to this big this thing with fundraiser or whatever with Clinton? And I'm like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
How do I? Yeah, you got to wear. So I went to Barney's and I got a jacket. I mean, I attempted to, not a full suit, just some pants and a jacket. I spent enough cleaned up.
Yeah.
Tied my hair back. Went and we get there and I'm beyond myself. So the room is, and I'm not making this up, is second the size of this, so it's maybe twice of this table, right? 10 feet by 10 feet. Literally 6 feet by 6 feet. Now people in the band, right? So there's all the NSYNC guys, Britney Spears, me, and 2 Secret Service agents, and the manager Johnny Wright. So we're all just like, they put us in this room, and I'm the one saying anything. I'm like, hi, how are you? Like this is fun, and the Secret Service guys are just fucking dead, just dead staring at me, not saying a thing, and I'm making all these jokes, and finally, the Secret Service guy says, "Okay, if you're not in NSYNC or in Britney Spears, you have to leave the room." And I said, "What if I'm actually in Britney Spears right now?" Because we were so close to her. And the guy went, kind of laughed. He goes, "All right, you can stay." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then she's like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I'm not really in you, but you know me. It was just a funny line. What if I'm actually in Britney Spears?"
Oh my God.
So this gets better. So the Secret Service says, move to. I said, I can't go anywhere else. And he says, "All right," says to Johnny Wright, "You have to go." And that's the manager of the band and Britney Spears. So I said, "Oh no, he's not going anywhere. I'm going." And Johnny Wright's like, "No one's going. You're staying. Scott, fucking stay where you are, and you do your job." To the Secret Service guy, he says, "Okay, all right, hold on a second. Can you move?" He opens the door, and Elizabeth Taylor walks.
Oh
in.
my gosh,
shit.
amazing!
No. And I'm standing there, and she walks. They walk her in, kind of shuffles her in, and she looks right at me, and she goes, "Can you get me a chair, Mary?" And I said, "Sure." Now there's not. I know. Now first, there's not even a chair to be seen, but I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So I'm doing one of these. I
She said
turn.
Mary?
Yeah, Mary.
What?
And I look back. I have makeup and long hair. I don't know. She said, "Can you get me a chair, Mary?" So I do a half turn to look to see if there's no chair, and I look back and there's the president.
Oh shit.
And he says, he puts his hand out. I'm right there, Elizabeth Taylor, and he says, "How are you?" I said, "Oh my God, I'm great, Mr. President." He says, "What's your name?" And everyone in the room goes, "Mary." And he goes, "Mary?" And I said, "No, it's an inside joke. I love inside jokes. What's the joke?" I said, "Nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing." And he just was like, "That's great." I said, "I met your bro. It's great." Did he say, "Yeah? What's Mary?" I said, It's not the way you want to meet the president.
That's like epic.
Yeah, no, it's not even. It's all true.
Amazing.
Can you get me a chair, Mary? And then the president says, "What's your name?" And then all the guys said, "That's Carrot." "Well, I know his middle name. I didn't know it was Mary." I said, "It's not Mary. It's
Oh my God,
it's
I'm
Scott."
dead. It's
not Mary.
hilarious.
That is so
Hey,
funny.
do you think she was being
No, she's old and just looked at me and thought I was
Kooky?
or maybe she has an assistant, Mary. She just she did not say it to be funny. She just held on to my arm. She said, "Can you get me a chair, Mary?" And I said,
Oh,
"Yes."
my God.
I said, "Yeah, I think there's one."
I love that you
Meanwhile, you guys can't even turn.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. But
That
yeah,
is
pretty cool.
fucking
That is amazing.
hilarious.
That's like the best story.
It's
Oh
crazy.
my god, yeah, I am
crazy.
in tears.
I'll write a
God,
book.
I
gotta
could
write a
sit
book.
with you for hours
Yeah.
and just hear
There's
you
so
tell
many
your
nutty
stories.
ones.
Yeah.
Nutty.
Please come back on.
Yeah, I do have a shit stories.
Oh my god! I mean, I
Anytime.
feel like we're keeping you. You're not keeping us, but my god, like I feel like we need to have more time.
Yeah,
with
we need to have a
you.
part two.
Well, I'd be honored. And thank you for having me this
No,
time.
we're
It's
honored,
great.
truly.
What days are your shows?
Every day except Sundays, and then we take a week off. Like we do like a month on, and then a week off, month on, week off.
Okay.
So usually I go to Florida,
All right.
or I go,
And at the Luxor.
sometimes LA work. Luxor.
At the Luxor.
Every night.
And you
8
don't do
p.m.
2 shows
Just
a day
one.
because George
My
Carlin
manager
said
doesn't
you
have a
not to
car
do
payment
that.
anymore. Yeah, one show a
I'm-
night.
I have to go and see it because
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't believe you
Some
haven't seen
bullshit.
it.
Yeah. I mean, I swear, I do remember seeing you as a kid, and I always loved watching you.
Yeah.
It was always a treat. And
Can kids come?
We get kids, yeah. We get.
We should
I
bring
mean,
the
a certain.
boys. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think 15 is probably okay. We try to keep it, right around there. The other night we had someone brought like a 12, 13-year-old. They didn't come in.
do you?
But I tracked that age. They like Carrot Top, and they. But the show's a little more adult. It's not quite.
Yeah.
It's not quite. Absinthe, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's
Nothing
it's
is
an
absent.
adult show. I mean, I come silly and but I'm also there's stuff but it's not really language or things it's really silly. It's just stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
But they get it.
No,
I mean,
for sure.
That's night 15-year kid in the front row was dying the whole time.
Yeah.
He it wasn't anything like. And I say sorry about the dildos and the language.
Rowan would
they always
die.
say,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel like that's right up their alley. Absinthe. I told this story before on here that David Copperfield was in the front row at Absinthe, and Gazillionaire. He was sitting there in jeans and flip flops.
David Copperfield.
Yes, in the front row. Just
I've
like,
never seen him
Just like
except-
stretched out, all relaxed, and the Gazillionaire was like, "Who the fuck wears flip flops to the theater?" Oh, I'm sorry, Your Highness. Here, let me get this for you. And he goes down on his knee and takes his flip flop off, and the Gazillionaire starts giving his big toe head, but like full on. His whole
Literally
fucking
just
foot was in
sucking
his
his
mouth.
toe.
And we were sitting back there. We were like, is this really happening? And the audience is going nuts. And he's laid back, just dying laughing.
My God.
Yeah, it was
That
pretty
is
wild.
funny.
It was wild. It was wild.
That's really wild. That's funny. I'm surprised he just was a good sport about it.
He
Yeah,
was
same.
amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I
Because,
feel like if you go to that place and you sit in the front row, you
Yeah.
know,
I mean, see, I'm, and I mean, my people know that I never. I don't care what show it is, would sit in the front row. I don't care. No.
Ever.
neither. Same.
No, I did one time beg for Elton John's show front row because
Oof, yeah.
because he has this. Speaking of foot, this is where he has. I don't know. He has like a foot fetish with them. Seriously. And
Wait, you have a foot
no,
fetish?
Elton
Oh.
John does, but it's
You heard it here,
But it's a
folks.
known. You can look it up. It's a known thing. Like he talks. Like he has a foot fetish with feet.
Interesting.
So there's like 4 seats they put in the front row, and they're his 4 like Abercrombie guys. They sit. No, I'm not making this up. They sit in the front, and they're beautiful. They're all 22, and they're Abercrombie. I mean, I think he really honestly hires Abercrombie guys to sit there, but they have their shirts on. But they
now.
sit there, and they're right in the front. And I've been many times. They put me, behind, a couple times behind them. So I said I didn't make them at the hot row. I'm the second. I did my hair. I mean, I'm kind of cute, right? I would say to their man, I said I'm kind of cute, and he's gay. He's like, you're very cute, but you can't sit in the front. That's his section.
It's for the
It'd be-
pets.
So I'm
boy
sitting
toy
behind
section.
these guys, and Elton comes out. And he's just, it's Elton John.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable how great. The first thing he walks out, you're just like, oh my God. And you just
Yeah.
stand, right? These kids, every song, right? These kids never moved, never clapped, nothing, right? So I'm like, I'm standing, and finally I bump the kid in the back, and he looks back like, I said, fucking stand up. And he goes, what? I said, fucking tell all you guys to stand up. And he's like, what do you want to do? And I said, stand up. So they stand up and they kind of look back at me. I said, keep standing the whole, because he'll have a fucking fit, especially if his people aren't jumping up. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So song's done. Everyone's standing. They go to sit down. I said, no. Because he's looking right at him. So you got to stand. So finally they did one song. They everyone sat. But every time everyone stood, I'd fucking kick in the chair, dude. And
Read the room.
And then finally, well, they're just there. They're just there for him to look at. But they got done. It was like, next time I went, I said, he says, all right, you're in the model row. I'm like, I'm not in the model row. He goes, yep. I said, seriously? Yep, you're A1. You're like right with the right.
A1.
So, I mean, I'm right. A1 right there. He comes out first thing. So I'm like, every song I'm standing, and the whole crowd's like, Jesus Christ, he suck his dick around. I'm like, he wants you to. I have to. I'm in A1. I have to. He's looking right at me.
That's why I'm here.
I'm his fucking Tiny Dancer tonight.
Fuck? So it was just. I keep saying, and the last one, promise me. So somehow I get to meet. It can't be nicer. Wonderful guy. So we go to the show one night, and the drummer Nigel says to me, "Oh, they came to my show, and they said, oh, you play guitar?" And I said, "I have all these guitars that I have people sign for charities." I said, "No, I don't know how to hold a guitar." I said, "I play drums," but he said, "You play drums?" I said, "Wait, I'm not a drummer." I'm telling Nigel. I said, "I played drums in school, but I'm not a drummer. I can play drums." Can you keep a beat, man? I said, "I can keep a beat." He's all right. Saturday night, you come up Saturday.
Shut up.
So I'm thinking Saturday night. So I'm thinking it's Thursday or something. So I'm just sitting there, and they start playing Saturday. Saturday night's all right. And he's doing this like,
oh my God.
And I'm like, what? And these crew guys come grab me, and they take me around the back. And Elton's still not out yet. They're just doing the bum bum, getting it all ready. And I'm like, what am I fucking doing? I said, you're gonna. I said, I'm not playing drums. He goes, no, you're going to play percussion with John.
My God. Okay,
because I'm not sitting at Nigel's. No, right? I don't sit in front row of any fucking show, just any reason. I'm very shy. I don't want to be. I don't know my.
Your toe size?
I'm not going to go to apps and sit, and you're just asking for shit.
Yeah.
So I sit the farthest back. Outside the tent, just looking in. So they bring me up and they give me these drumsticks, and it's all on the big screens too. Wow. The crowd, they zoom in, and I'm up there fucking, and the crowd's like, and Elton's doing down, and he kept doing this like it wasn't like it just. I've seen this show so many times. He just kept looking back, and he always does that, and he looked back, and then he do it again, and he kept looking back, and because it was something different, right? It wasn't that I was fucking it up. It just wasn't extra music in there, right? This is the same beats and the same John, but then there was extra shit. I was hitting cowbells and tom-toms and it's done. It's killer. They brought me back. The crowd was like, dude, and they go backstage, and Elton has already gone. They said, yeah, Elton left, and he said, you'll love this though. And I said, what? He says, what was different on Saturday? And they said, oh, Carrot Top. He said, what do you mean Carrot Top? They said he was playing with John percussion. Fuck! I knew there was something goddamn in my ear. And I fuck. Why is he up there playing? And says John's like, I didn't do it. He says, Nigel says, I did. And he says, you gotta tell me this shit. Then he got almost in trouble for.
He didn't tell Elton John.
No, I know.
What the fuck?
No, he just said
that's a ballsy move.
Yeah, that's really ballsy.
But Nigel's been,
yeah, sure,
80 years they've been together. But I guess you probably have to ask him.
Yeah,
I'm sure he would have said, "Fucking no, it was Cat Top on the drums. What's wrong with you?"
Ask for forgiveness, not for permission.
Yeah.
But I did great. I was like, I'm playing with Elton John.
Do you have footage of that?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Holy shit!
Wow, you have the coolest
Jeff
life.
has it. Jeff has it somewhere. I remember right when it came off. I said, I hope you got that. He said, I was on the big screens. I was like, and then they sent it to me. Crazy. John sent it to me. I'm like next to him with the symbol, and
amazing.
That's so
cool. That was cool. That's when I'm not in show business. Like that's show business.
Yeah. Holy shit.
When you're standing there like watching people lose their minds with Elton John.
Yeah.
That's show business.
Oh man.
I always say right before I go on, I said, I'm almost in show business, right? I'm kind of in show business. It's almost, right? And they always say, yes, yeah. Yes, sir. My stagehand guy always says the same thing. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. You're in show business. Are you sure? I mean, there's a stage and there's a microphone. So it's a curtain. Kind of in it.
Oh my God, how fun to work at your place with all your...
Yeah, we do have a good time, though. That's the whole point of it, right?
Yeah.
Even when shit goes wrong, it's fun. We
still love it,
yell at each other and say, yeah, damn it. Yeah. Yeah, I love it more than I loved it.
You look forward to getting out there every night?
Yeah, because I think I feel more now confident in what I'm doing than I did back then, I was always scared the whole time.
Now it's just
I'm still scared, but, to a degree.
But the good kind of scared, right? Yeah.
like you always say, are you nervous? I don't want to say nervous, but you're amped up. You know,
Yeah.
you're kind of. It's a new show. It's a new audience every night. So
yeah.
you know, last night and then tonight, you're like, fuck. Why can't we just go off that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. of
Do you get
course.
hecklers?
I don't much. I don't. The show's very quick, and I don't. There's a sound bite, a video cue, and me, and then boom and a boom and a boom and a. So I might people that want to say something positively, but they've never said something. They don't get
That's
like
nice.
negative stuff. No.
That's good. That's
I've
cool.
said
I can't imagine.
yeah. My opener, they go nuts on him, but he promotes it. He provokes it. He's kind of like works it's his whole bit is
Yeah.
working the room. So
Yeah.
he jabs him and jabs him and jabs him. We call him is Rob Sherwood. We call him Rob Rickles because he's just like, dude,
Oh,
you're killing him.
speaking of legends, Rickles.
Oh,
like, I
Rickles.
can't- Did you know
Yeah, I
him?
worked in a movie with him.
Jesus, what movie?
Dennis the Menace.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Man, oh my gosh. like,
Unbelievable.
ugh.
And I'll tell you what, there's too many stories with him. One was when I was in the movie, I had to change characters. I played like 6 people, and so I was in most of the day. I was in prosthetics and wardrobe like hours. I get there at 5 in the morning, and they would glue on all this prosthetics because I had to be a 9-year-old guy. I had to be his in the movie. I'm this bad guy, an old guy, trying to sell him shit. And then I'm the Indian guy, and then I'm this guy, and Brian Doyle, Murray, right? Bill Murray's brother
Oh, yeah.
is my guy. He and I. So it's like Betty White. I mean, it's just crazy
Wow.
cast. So
Betty
I'm sitting in
White.
the
Jesus.
So I'm sitting in the makeup, hours, and every morning, and then Betty would come in some days when she was doing something, and she would go, "Hi, how are you?" He would come in every day. Every day, I'm sitting in the trailer, and they, step
knew
it up,
he
and
knew
they
you
open
were?
the well, yeah, no, every day. Well, I'm in the movie every day. He knew before, but he opened the door, and he walk in, and he look at me, and go, "You're still in this?" Yes, I'm still in the movie, Don. He was great.
Oh, my God.
I was,
still in
are you still in this?
I can hear it.
Ah, man, he'd just walk
Did he
out.
know? But did he know who Carrot Top was?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
And at the end, I promise this is it because I know you guys have to go.
No.
At the end of, I was at a dinner with my agent, still my agent of like 30 years, Steve Levine, and we're at this kind of maybe you've been in a little trendy restaurant in L.A. It starts with an H, and everyone goes there. It's like I don't know. It's paparazzi outside, all this crap. But in that restaurant, the night I go, it's like I don't do those places. But my man is it'd be fun. We'll go. We're meeting someone there. There's like the Motley Crue, literally in the same restaurant at the same time. It's like Motley Crue, Mrs. Brady, all these eclectic. And I'm like me, and then I'm sitting there, and my agent says, "Oh Jesus, you got to go say hi to Don Rickles." So where is he? Right behind you. I'm looking like, oh fuck. He said, "Well, you're his agent." He goes, "Yeah, but I walk up to the table. He's gonna, you go say hi. You're So I said, "Should I even bother him?" He goes, "Well, I would say hi to him." I said, oh, "Fuck." So I get up, but it's not just him. It's like 10 people. He's at the head of the table. His wife, 10 people, probably all of his agents and stuff. And I walk up and I said, I don't want to, hi everybody. I don't want to bother you. Just wanted to say hi. And he goes, "You don't want to bother me? Well, that's too late, isn't it? What do you want?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't want, I just wanted to, just swear to God." And this is like a month before he died. He was fucking, he says, "Well, that's too late. What do you want?" I said, "Oh, I don't, hi everybody. I'm sorry. I don't want it. I just wanted to know if you remember working with me on a movie." And he says, "I have tried to forget everything you and I have ever done." Okay? And I go, "Oh, okay. All right. Well, you have a good night." He says, "How am I going to have a good night? You just ruined it. All my friends, we're having it, and you come over like you have to. Are you serving us something? What is the purpose of this?" And I said, "I just wanted to say that I love you and I appreciate you being that. Let me be in that movie." And he says, "All right, are you done?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "All right, come here, kid." And he grabbed my cheeks and he
no.
says, "Is my name still big in Vegas?" And I said, "Of course it is." And he goes, "Okay, now you can go."
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah,
That makes me wanna
roasted
cry.
He roasted me like, I mean, just like
And
he
then
would.
he loved you.
And they loved me. Oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
he gave me a hug. He says,
fuck.
"How are you, kid? You look great." You know I'm kidding. You look
That
great.
literally makes me want to
Yeah.
cry.
You know
That's
you look
so
great. You know I'm
sweet.
kidding, but you look great.
Great fucking story. Oh my god.
You have the best story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he
Wow.
died like a month after that. It was crazy. And he was still had his wits, and man, he was tremendously
When he was doing that
tremendously
at the
and
table,
sweet.
was all the people like roaring laughing
Oh,
with
yes.
him? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Amazing.
And they were all like, "Oh, okay," you know." I said, "I was in a movie with."
Uh-huh.
He doesn't remember. He remembers. Trust me.
Amazing.
And then I tried to buy dinner, and the guy came over. The guy came over and said, "No, don't." I said, "No, I gotta buy that." I mean, it was 10 people. It'd be like $5,000 or more probably. But I said, "No, I have to buy dinner for it." And they insisted they wouldn't accept me to buy it. The manager of his or one of his agents or whatever came over and said, "That was a very nice gesture, but I appreciate that."
Wow.
And I did tell him that you were going to buy the dinner, and he said, "Have a Jew pay for it." That's what he said.
I swear, I feel I could do this all day. Like I mean, there's so many. Like I want to hear you talk about like Rodney Dangerfield because I'm like, oh, you probably know fucking everyone, all of the
I
fucking
met
great.
Rodney, yeah.
I mean, Sam Kinison. Did you meet Sam Kinison? Oh, yeah. We need to come back and do this again because I don't want to keep. I know you.
We can talk about comics next time. I know that, or just famous people that you run into, because that's kind of fun. Because even when you're in this business, and or at least I think every person in show business, everyone, even a president will say, "Oh, that was cool. I got to meet." You know what I mean? Like I don't think. Maybe the Rolling Stones are like, fuck off, mate. I don't need to meet anybody. You know what I mean? But everyone's kind of cool when they meet somebody, just because they're like, "Oh man, I grew up." Like.
Yeah.
You just they want to meet you, just like Jack Nicholson. I was in Aspen walking across this little street, like just there's no one on the streets, and I had gone to the gym, and I had a bottle of water, or it might have been a coffee. No, I had water. He had coffee. So I look across the street, and it's just a little teeny town, and I look up, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, it's Jack Nicholson." So I just kind of was like, looked down, and he was walking right by me, and he said, "Top." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, Top." And I said, "Jack." I said, "Oh my God, this is before I had cell phones and I wouldn't take a picture." I said, "Oh my God, nice to meet you." He says, "What are you doing out here in the streets?" I said, "I just went to a gym." "Oh, geez, you look like you came from a gym. You're not sweating." I just walked he said, "I just walked from that corner and he was covered in sweat." You just came from the gym, you're not sweating, I'm covered in sweat. He says, "Because I'm fucking old." And I said, "You're not old." He goes, "I'm fucking old, Top." And I said, "You're not old." And he goes, "You know what really irks me?" Just like he would say. And I said, "What?" And I'm thinking he's going to say, "People that stop me on the street." I said, and just like that, "You know what irks me?" And I said, "No, Jay Leno." And I said, "What's wrong with Jay Leno?" He never lets you fucking talk. Like he'd seen me on the Tonight Show. Like he knew of me. And he's like, I said, "Oh, he said, every time you're on it, you have all that shit. You pull it." And then he comes over and he says, "Oh, we'll be right back." He never talks to you.
Interesting.
And it was, he never really did.
Yeah.
But he was irked by it.
Right.
And he's like, "That's bullshit." And I kept saying, "No, Jay is probably the nicest person in the world with me." I mean, he let me do the Tonight Show like 35 times. And he's like, "Yeah, but fuck him still. Fuck him." And he just wouldn't let it go. And I said, "No, Jay's great." He's like, "He should let you fucking talk." I said, "I'll ask him next time." But then I went back, I'm like, "Oh my God, I was just talking to Jack Nicholson." Like for 10 minutes, just me and Jack.
That's
no one
funny.
walked by to witness it. There was no one out.
That's so cool because Jack comes from an era where when Johnny called you over to talk was a huge thing. So he was probably putting that, and Jay wasn't doing that.
Jay never did that.
Yeah.
No, he never did. But he didn't do it unless you. Most people they perform, they didn't any of you perform.
Yeah.
That was your couch.
Yeah,
panel.
yeah. That was
But
Jay's
Jay was
thing.
always not Jay himself. The people that booked me were always terrified to just let me sit down and tell panel. You had to do props. I'm like, I can tell a story with a prop. And they let me do it one time, and it was great. I was doing chairman of the board, and they let me sit down and talk about my movie without doing props.
On Leno?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I hope Jack saw that.
Yeah.
You're in a movie. Karen Thompson in a movie. What's the movie? And I was chairman of the board. "Oh, chairman of the board. That's great. Who's in the movie?" And I was like, "Fuck, Raquel Welch." And Raquel Welch in the movie. How the hell? It happened. Yeah, I know.
That was funny. We were driving. You know the drive to L.A., the Baker stop
Yes.
where the Mad Greek
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
That's like one of our favorite stops. So
Yeah.
we can't go without getting Euro. And we were sitting in there waiting for our
So
Euro. We were sitting at one of those little tables, and she was like, "I think that's Jack Nicholson." And I was like, "No, it's
I'm 90%
not."
sure that Jack Nicholson is right there.
I was like, "No, it's not." And she was like, no, I really do think it is. And I turned around. He was standing in line at the Mad Creek. I was like, what is he doing in Baker? And
There was
we were
something
just
so
like,
eerie and like scary
Yeah.
about him. Just like,
No, I know. And trust me, I put my head down.
no, yeah, we did
And
too. We didn't say
he
anything.
had that look already, like, just like in the Joker, like,
Yeah.
his hair was all fucked up.
the Joker.
He's got his hair's all fucked up. He's
Yeah.
like, you would had a man in glasses, would you? That's what he looked like, just all disheveled, sweating.
Yeah.
And he has this one eyebrow this way, and he had that look, and he's like, you know what irks me?
You were like, I hope it's not me. Please don't say me.
Yeah.
Prop actors.
Yeah, prop comics. How the fuck did you make it?
Oh, man. That is so good.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Well, thank you.
Oh my god,
Dude.
this has been the best interview. Thank you so much for
I had
coming
fun,
on.
yeah. Your guy over there sounded like he was bored out of his mind.
Oh, he was
No, he was
laughing.
laughing.
I'm
That's the
kidding,
first
I'm
time we've heard him
kidding.
laugh over there.
I'm kidding.
No, yeah. He's always quiet over there. That was the first time we've heard him, so you did a good job.
Yeah, that was great.
Good.
Oh my god. And seriously, what an honor to have you.
Thank you. Likewise. Thank you guys both.
Seriously.
I appreciate that. It's been a while.
I know,
When it
too
came up, I
long.
was like, God damn, Angel, I haven't seen her in years.
I
It's great.
know.
And what a fun show. Fun
Yeah,
show.
it's just starting, so we'll see how it goes. We're just getting it kicked
It's
off.
fun.
Yeah, that's the idea, right? Is to have fun and give
Yeah.
people a little
Yeah.
bit of a break and tell stories. And that is what I want. We just want to hear those, stories and of the entertainment world. I think it's so fun.
Yeah, we'll have to get together and see. You'll have to see
Yeah,
Roman.
I would love you to, since you've never seen it too, it'd
Hmm.
be fun. It's a different,
Yeah.
different than what you probably think it is.
It's very fun.
Yeah, I bet. I can only imagine. Well,
I made bottled water. There was never bottled water. In the first administration, I made bottled water.
awesome. Well, thank you again.
Yes,
I really
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, appreciate
Yeah, we'll
the
be in
love.
touch for sure
Yeah.
for a part 2 because I want to hear more stories.
Yeah,
Maybe we'll
no,
just
I
get
love
together and
It's
barbecue.
fun telling him too because it brings you back.
Yeah.
Like that Domino's thing. God, I forgot how great that when we used to do that.
Yeah,
And that was just years and years ago.
So good.
So fun.
So good.
It was
I
funny
wish
we
I
had
would've
Adam
seen that.
Sandler do it too. And we were
Oh my
we were
God.
playing a cruise ship and we went back to our rooms at Miami and he was like, "That's the funniest bit, whatever." And then we said, "You want to order pizzas?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "You have that jacket?" I said, "Yeah, it's in my Or bring it to the room." So I brought the whole prop over, and he comes. He says, "Well, no." I said, "You should wear it. It'd be funny to open the door. It's Adam Sandler."
Yeah.
And I wish we had the look on that kid's face. Yeah, he was like, did you order pizza? And Adam Sandler was like, "Did you order pizza?" Just like I wouldn't intend the joke. He's, "I don't know. Did you order pizza?" And the guy's like, he just looked at him first. He's like, "Wait, there's two things happening. One, you're fucking with me, right? And is that Adam Sandler fucking with me?"
Yeah, like, wait, what?
And it's right when it was the very first, in Saturday Night Live, just so
Huge,
huge.
yeah.
And the kid was just like, he didn't know what to do because he's like, he's getting fucked with, but it's also Adam Sandler fucking
Yeah.
with him. He was like, "Is this really real?"
Holy shit.
That's amazing.
That guy tells a good story, right? Like
Yeah.
that Adam Sandler Carrot Top fit time.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
That guy probably is telling that somewhere.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
was
his best
fucking
story.
Adam Sandler was holding a pizza with a pizza bun.
Yeah. There's so many. I love the idea of that. Like, you ever hear those? Like Bill Murray will like walk into a wedding and just kind of
Yeah.
like hang out with people,
Yeah.
and like those people out there that have those fucking great stories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's probably why he does it, because he's like, I want to.
Yeah.
He's so fucking hilarious, and that idea of just
He's just a good, fun person. He wants
Yeah.
to have, that shows what he is.
joy
Yeah,
and
for
laughter.
sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I love seeing Jack in line just waiting for.
Oh my
his-
God, a
his
year old.
hero.
Literally, I was like,
And fava
don't turn
beans.
around right
Don't
now,
look
but
now.
I'm pretty sure that like he's right behind you.
And don't you love when you do that? Yeah, don't look now. And they'll go, I said don't look now.
Literally, like, don't look now.
God damn it. I said don't look now. And they'll look over to that guy. But not that. No.
A friend of mine did something with him because I had posted something about it. This was a long time ago. And she said, "Oh, you should have said hi. He's lovely." And I was like, fuck no. I wasn't going to walk up to him in line and be like, "Hi."
I hear you're lovely.
I hear you're lovely.
Heard you're lovely. What did you order?
Oh my God, so funny. All right.
Amazing. Thank
Thank
you
you guys.
so
Thank you guys.
much.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
So
It was
great.
fun.
Thanks,
and all
Mary.
all your viewers are watching us too. Thank you for watching.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah. And go see Carrot Top show at the Luxor.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm going.
Come with us. Come join us.
Yeah, we'll go. Family affair. All right.
Awesome.
Amazing.